to the IDP Show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sode Shack tonight. On my right, Adam Markham. On my left, Bobby Reynolds. And sitting right next to me, our very special guest, Connor Raymer. Gentlemen, how are we this evening? Who's going to talk first?
Addy, just fire it off, Addy.
Doing well, Josh. Thank you, Addy. Someone had to be the icebreaker there, and I appreciate you jumping in, Addy.
Sure.
It's good to see you boys. Little 4-pack episode tonight. This is fun. I don't know that we've ever done this. This is good.
This is so sick, dude.
And we got the new lights in the Sode Shack, so y'all can see truly how hideously ugly we are, which is great. Make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube. But, Connie, it's crushing Colts season, so you know we had to have you in the building for this episode.
Yeah, I think it is a first that we've all four been in here. And, yeah, that's another reason you all typically have me in here. Something horribly, horribly wrong has happened with the Colts.
Yep.
So I'm excited to touch on that for a little bit today.
Yeah, it's that time of year, boys, where the Colts come out and break Connie's heart despite all the optimism in the world for the team that he loves so much. And we're going to get into it tonight. Bobo, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm great, Josh.
Thanks for helping me with the light installation. You know I'm not a handy person.
That's what I'm here for.
I will say it feels a little hotter in here with all the lights on.
A little toasty.
Yeah, we're going to have to start doing makeup before the show now.
Sure.
Cover up all the wrinkles and the bags under the eyes.
It's all sexual energy in here.
Yeah, we are nothing if not, mid-30 dads, so we need some help. We need help wherever we can get it, Addy.
Hey, I perform my best underneath the bright lights. So always have, always will.
Maybe we should get some work like Tom Brady's having done, where he's slowly turning into some sort of alien creature.
He's going through it, it seems.
Yeah.
He's,
Is he going to make it through the full season, Addy?
I saw a tweet today that was like, oh, he's getting divorced.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know this. He apparently is going to be away from the team every Wednesday, every week.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Flying home.
It's two things.
It's bad.
He's either really sick or he's getting a divorce.
or both.
There's no two options. But somebody said earlier, talking about funny tweets, that he looks like the skull emoji. And he does. He looks just like
That would be-
like hollow face.
That would be a tough scene if he's sick. Hopefully that's not
Yeah,
the case.
I feel like a real jerk.
Because he's lost a lot of weight. His face is looking real angular. I don't know what's going on.
Sick of his wife.
Aren't we all, folks?
It's time for Tom Brady to die. I'm just going to say it, all right?
No,
I'm sick of
here's the
this.
thing. He sold his soul to the devil,
Yeah.
and they gave him like 23 years. And so now the Grim Reaper is at his door, and it's time to pay up, Tom.
How many games is Evan out?
Just
Mike
the
Evans?
one. He is gonna appeal, but I don't know what's the appeal gonna be like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like what he said to the refs.
Yeah. What do you expect
Tom
me to
Brady.
do? And it's like, I expect you not to try to take Marshawn Lattimore's head off, bro.
I know, man. Marshawn Lattimore, I mean, he's got to just have, like, whiplash issues. That's the second time he's done this to him.
Yes.
Mike Evans.
Yes.
Mike Evans is a tank, too. Like, he's got to
Yeah,
know.
man.
You can't be messing with him. Like, he blew him out of his cleats, but how big of a real one is Mike Evans? When
Yeah.
he said that to the ref on the field, it's just like,
I
He's
kind
hashtag
of,
loyal. You love to see it.
I kind of take it like, man, like, I didn't want to have to do that, but it's Tom. Like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it. Like, not like, that's my dog. I'm going to stand up for him.
He overreacted a little bit. Tom was just getting yelled at.
Yeah.
You know?
did BA send him out there, by the way? I think he did, right? Did you see that on this? Like, was BA on the sideline, or was that from a previous year? Because I swear it looked like BA was
would have
on
been
the
there.
sideline at this past game.
Oh, that's surprising.
He's usually up in the booth, like
'Cause
really
does he have
checked
a role
out. Like,
anymore?
he's like a senior advisor to
So
the
maybe
team.
he was.
He could be down on the sidelines.
He was in team clothes, and the film showed him, assuming it was not something that was chopped, because he didn't get kicked out last year, did he? It was just this year only.
Well, and there's the rumor,
don't
too, that
remember
Tom
if-
Brady forced him out.
And it looks like he says to him, he says, go get him, or go do something,
Forced-
and Mike runs out there.
Bruce Arians out of the coaching job.
Yeah.
So, a lot of intrigue swirling around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but ugly win, but a win nonetheless. And we'll see if Big Mike Evans gets that
2-0.
one game suspension knocked down. I don't think he will. I think he's going to serve that 1 game suspension, folks.
2-0, and that division is trash.
That helps, right?
Yep.
That helps.
He won't pay a nickel of that fine. I
Probably
promise you
not.
that. Tom will have that paid in $100 bills.
Just a bag of cash.
Yeah.
Pull a Brett Favre.
Just drop it
Steal
right.
it from poor kids.
Yeah, exactly. Not a great week for Brett Favre. It's
Yeah, it seems like a real piece.
yeah.
When's the last good week for Brett Favre?
Yeah,
a long time.
Anytime Brett Favre's text messages are showing up in news stories, it is not good news, folks.
That's true. That is true. This is another text-related scandal.
Yeah, you just
Phone-related scandal.
hate to see it. I loved his response too. Like, thanks. I just really needed to hear that. It's like, you're Brett Favre. You're so rich that you don't need this to happen.
He's just getting greedy.
Speaking of weird QB things, did y'all really enjoy the Eli Manning disguise? I thought it was kind of lame.
Yeah, that seemed very forced. That seemed very
right?
Yeah, it's like, bro, this
Even
guy's
with
like,
the
Manning.
makeup,
Yeah.
it's very clearly Eli Manning.
it's very clearly a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, he looks
in
very
college.
old.
Yeah, like
And the best part is at the end, he keeps trying to peel off his face and he can't get it off. You have to just clip this in there at some point. But he's trying so hard to talk to the kids at the end.
to peel it
He
off.
can't get
It's like a
the
Miss
face off.
Doubtfire
The
moment.
camera doesn't even really want to show his face. It still looks
Oh my
like
God.
so
I haven't
horrifying.
even seen the whole thing.
haven't
I just
seen
saw
the end.
I just saw the Twitter
Yeah.
clip.
I
There's
just
like
saw
a minute.
like the parts and pieces of it.
He ran like a 5.5 or something, 5.6 40.
God, I think I ran one that fast.
Even his balls were still kind of like ducks. They weren't like nice tight
I
spirals.
thought you meant his actual testicles. So I was like, wow, they went real in depth with this walk-on
The
situation.
Manning Bros are funny. They're
Yeah.
they're a funny
They are.
bunch.
They are. I'm glad that we have the Manning cast back, even because I wondered, with the whole Joe Buck, Troy Aikman thing on Monday Night Football, are they going to try to draw away some of the, excitement around those two by having the Manning cast? But man, they got the Omaha Productions now. They got Kyle Brandt. They've got Mina Kimes.
Yeah.
They got Cousin Sal. I don't know if you saw that. Cousin Sal signed up with them, so they're under the Omaha label now. So
Nice.
they're building a little media empire. You wondered why Peyton Manning was not going into the front office? That may be why. He may just kind of want to do his little media empire thing right now.
Peyton Manning he co-owns a golf course in Tennessee. Have you guys heard of
No.
Sweetens Cove? And
Sweetens
it's a
Cove.
unbelievable looking course.
Where is it in Tennessee? Do you know?
I don't remember. It's I've looked. It's like 4 or 5 hours away, I believe. But
Oh, that's easy.
I think it's only 9 holes, and you walk it. But yeah, it looks incredible. We need to go play it someday.
Nice.
Nice
Maybe
track.
Very nice track.
golf
That's
talk.
insufferable golf talk. Yeah.
Scratch it off on your bingo card, folks. Addie, I'm going to give you the solo cam. I want to hear your thoughts here before we get into the news and Colts talk with Connie. We delayed the episode one night because we wanted to watch Eagles-Vikings last night and Bills-Titans. Malik Willis already in the game for the Titans. It's getting dark early for the Titans, folks. You may be seeing a lot more of Malik Willis, which is honestly kind of fun. I think if I was a Titans fan, they give me something to look forward to. But your Vikes, boy, kind of laid an egg in prime time, Addie.
That's what they do. They've done this for how long now? Forever. I mean, that's what they've always done. So no surprise there. But I mean, I think the real story is Philadelphia, and they're legit.
Yeah.
That team is. I think Josh, you had the prediction that he goes Super Bowl. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, they're a complete team because that defense was seriously kicking some ass last night.
Yeah, and Jalen Hurts is actually good.
Miles Sanders is healthy.
He's healthy, and even if
He looks good, man. He looks fast.
he's a good running back. He was he was hated on for whatever reason.
Two really good receivers, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Sure, and then Dallas Goedert.
Oh, yeah.
A top 6 tight end,
Yeah,
right?
I just think when teams tell you what they want to be, believe them. And I think they wanted to build this around Hurts's kind of rushing ability and A.J. Brown just getting 10 targets a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also really fixed that defense.
They did.
I mean, to bring in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Nakobe Dean, who we haven't even seen yet. But, I mean,
Yeah.
T.J. Edwards is an actual good linebacker.
Jordan Davis was on
up
the field.
front, bringing in Hassan Reddick, who hasn't really done much in the box
But
score,
Josh
just
Sweat looks great.
an upgrade on the other side, compared to Derek Barnett. So that defense is really good. That's a really good team. They're going to easily win that division.
I think so. I think they might be in play for the 1 seed in the NFC, which
Yeah.
is not that good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some okay teams, but I think they're at the top of the pack right now for me. So, Connie, Bills Titans game was over pretty quickly. Did you get to watch any of this one?
Yeah, I watched all of it. Saw both games. And to comment on the Philly thing, good call, because I thought you were crazy at the beginning of the year because I just thought there's no way the East will be tough with the Cowboys. And then, Dak goes down, the Cowboys aren't good, and Philly is actually good. I really do. I think they'll be I think Big Cat, a couple other big media personalities, has the Eagles as their Super Bowl favorite.
I
Like,
think Greg
big,
Rosenthal, actually, friend of the show, picked him to win the Super Bowl.
yeah, big stacks of money on that.
So I was not the only one, but the more I looked at it, I was like, this team could actually be really good.
They could have some juice. But now, shifting to the Bills-Titans game, I had a lot of my Titans friends that were just distraught and talking about how bad the AFC South is, and that was true. But I think what you saw last night, too, was not so much that the Titans are so bad, but man, the Bills are so good.
They're so good.
They may not lose a game. Like they may slip up and lose a game or two, but it's just clear that they are the top dog, I think, in the NFL. I don't think it's just the AFC. I think it's in the NFL. That's your best team, especially if they're at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
They just had even the James Cook pick kind of felt like, what do we do here?
Yeah.
They just didn't really have any glaring holes. They brought in Von Miller. Tremaine Edmonds and Milano have played pretty well this year. Hyde and Poyer.
Milano had a pick 6.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about some injuries to one or two of them.
Yeah, Milano got banged up. Micah Hyde got banged up coming out of that game.
Rousseau's taking a step.
Dude, Russo and Miller. We'll probably get into talking about them later on, but dear God, especially Russo. Russo looks like a freak.
Also, I saw this might have been a tweet, but if it is I think a lot of people are saying Eagles right now, but obviously Bills are the other team that'll likely join the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that is in Phoenix the same weekend as the Waste Management Open.
Wow.
Open, yeah.
Wow.
So and that's Connor, you went to it.
I've been, yeah.
It's a party, dude.
Oh, it's a blast.
So imagine having that going on.
Ooh, boy.
Eagles fans, Bills fans.
There'll be so many tables broken.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to die.
All the beer in that city will be drank.
That's the hole that Tiger aced, like 17 or 16, whatever that par 3 is.
Yeah.
Years ago, back when Tiger was Tiger.
Yeah.
The year Philly beat
pour one out.
New England in the Super Bowl, your boy was out in Scottsdale. Went to the Waste Management Open.
Nice.
Just
Right.
out of control.
It's
And
amazing
then,
you came back from that.
yeah, went to Top Golf to watch the Super Bowl, which I thought would be terrible. It was a hellacious bill, but it was awesome.
Yeah, you're probably 500-600 deep.
It was bad. There was a big group of us though, so we had a lot to split. But it was
Let's go.
It was a blast.
Top Golf is so much fun.
Oh, it was awesome,
much
man.
fun.
So
much fun.
I don't like golf, but I love Top Golf.
You've been? Really?
Oh, yeah.
That surprises me.
Oh yeah, I guess
That's
go
awesome.
blast some balls and watch. And the food's okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you play golf, you're going to be.
Yes.
If you've never been to
Love
one, you're going
that.
to be in heaven.
Yeah.
It's
You're going to
best.
spend a lot of money, but if you want like a good 4 to 6 hours of entertainment, man, that's the place to be.
Food's good too.
What's your take on the little social media TikToks about people hitting it over the back net? You think that's real, or the ball's just kind of disappearing in the black?
There's
Some of
no
those-
way they can do that,
Some
right?
of these, it's like a lot of these long drivers. Yeah, it looks like it's clearing.
It's 250-ish to the net, I feel like.
But that's the way golf's going, man.
But then the net is, I don't know.
Everyone's trying to hit it further now, and you're seeing it.
Especially if
so.
you bring your own equipment, you bring your own
Oh, yeah,
driver
you
and
gotta
don't use
bring
their
your own
stuff
equipment.
that's basically dulled down.
I
There are
guess-
guys out there that can do it. Even guys that are like non-golfers, like you said, people that just go out and all they hit's driver, but they couldn't hit a 2-foot putt.
I think the first one I saw was Trout, and that was like a couple years ago.
I believe that because
Yeah.
I mean that
He's
guy could
wicked
probably
strong.
hit a golf ball 500 yards. Like
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
let-
that does seem dangerous for some cities.
Yeah, don't. What are we doing, bombing golf balls out into the parking lot
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, that definitely would kill somebody. Start a major accident.
Please.
Into a highway, maybe.
Please don't do that.
But hey, it's a bomber.
it's a
It's a
bomber.
piss missile.
It's a piss missile. I like the games where you hit it into the giant nets right in front of the thing. That's I can do that. I can do okay with that.
Yeah.
It's fun. Check out Top Golf if you have never been. It's
Our next show will be live from Top Golf.
We should,
Hey, that'd
man.
be
That'd
lit.
be fun.
Let's
I
go.
could pack this. I could pack Rhodey down there.
Sir,
yeah.
okay.
Hour down the road. We
You
can
heard
do
it
that.
here. Thank you, Josh.
I'll take care of it.
introing the kids to Top Golf.
I already regret this.
No kids.
Adam falls off the
Absolutely
third
no
floor.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
laying in the
IDP podcaster Adam Markham fell to his death at Top Golf.
That's where I'd want to go.
We would just spread your ashes right there
Yeah,
on the Top
sure
Golf
would.
course,
Sure.
baby.
You know that's why they have nets there, right?
Yeah.
This upper level all has nets.
Oh, yeah.
Like a couple feet out.
Oh,
Yeah, they're serving beer in there. They're gonna.
Yeah, they know that some idiots are going to be falling off.
And a lot of people don't know how to swing golf clubs. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've about gotten killed at those things.
Large
For real.
liability risk.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Bobby's mind goes straight to insurance.
Yeah, I just don't want to talk about it, Josh. We'll move on.
What do you think Top Golf costs to insure?
Yeah, it's just so much.
So $500, $600 probably.
Yeah.
Sir.
Just a couple
trust that
Whatever
completely.
Connie's bill was, it'd
couple
probably cover
Benjamin
it.
Franklins. So we are excited to be here tonight, folks. We are doing the Week 2 recap. And as we mentioned, we wanted to get into a little bit of just football talk tonight because what a crazy week in the NFL that it was in Week 2. I thought we had some classics in Week 1, but man, Week 2, hold my beer, watch some of these endings. You had the Cardinals-Raiders game. You had Dolphins-Ravens. You had Colts, or not the Colts. God, that thing was over at halftime. The Browns versus the Jets was a crazy one. And then there's probably another one I'm forgetting.
Did you say Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore and the Dolphins. Just some crazy, crazy games that you thought were totally over at one point in the game. And, I mean, to end up in the second frame with the Cardinals coming back on a Hunter Renfrow second fumble of overtime, scoop and score where he almost threw it across the goal line. It's like not even that could be any somewhat normal.
I don't feel like the NFL season after Week 2. Like, most of the time Week 2 you're like, all right, let's not overreact. But this year it feels like maybe we should overreact a little bit. Like, I don't know, some of these teams just don't look great.
They don't look great, and that's a great segue, Bobo. Connie, we only bring you in when it's time to really question everything about your Colts fandom.
It's
the
really
Colts,
therapeutic.
Yeah, off to an 0-2 start, and this Sunday, perhaps one of the worst losses I think I've ever seen from a Colts team in Jacksonville. We haven't won there, I think, since 2014, so going on 8 years.
Yeah.
And we have a chance to exercise some demons against the team that bounced us out of the playoffs. We're in the clown outfits. And we come out and lay a total goose egg and get worked 24-0. You, sir, have the floor. What's your take on the Colts right now?
Well, first off, are you all going to be billing me hourly on this therapy session, or how are we doing this?
No, we're paying you a lump sum.
We're just seeing if you like the experience. If you do, you tell some friends. Yeah. Have them come back. We'll bill you then.
Excuse me. So
he gets choked up. It's understandable, son.
It's such a disgusting ordeal to even think about, but. Man, it's been the worst start to a season you could think of. And that's saying something because, even the last
we were
season,
0-2 last year.
Yeah, we were 0-2 last year. We were like 1-4 one of the last years Andrew played. So the Colts are synonymous in the Frank Reich era for slow starts. That's nothing that we're not accustomed to. But you just consider the context here, the fact that, okay, week 1 you're playing indoors at Houston at a place you've dominated on, and you get whooped there, or to the point that you come back and tie, right? But you should have beat them. That's a team that's projecting towards a top 3 pick. So that's embarrassing. Now, you don't have T.Y. He's like the legitimate owner of the Texans, and he was up until his last year. So that was embarrassing. Then you fast forward and you think, okay, we're playing Jacksonville. Even if, the quarterback wasn't on this team last year, you got to have 70, 80% of the guys from last year's team that should still be just piss and vinegar about this game. Yeah, they embarrassed you. They took your playoff spot away. They showed up in clown outfits. And if you got any heart at all, you'll show up and you will absolutely blow the doors off that team. No excuses. And you just came in and got your ass whooped.
I mean, there was no two ways about it. I don't know how much of that game you boys saw, but it was
ass whooping. It was a freshman team against a varsity team.
Truly.
Bloodbath.
They had nothing going on offense. They were picking us apart on defense.
JT wasn't running very well. Matt Ryan played pretty poor. That's the other thing maybe about Ryan is he wasn't there for that experience of getting beat out last year. So maybe he didn't have the, emotion coming into the game. But, yeah, y'all are right. I mean, I guess my thing with the Colts is can it change? Like, what's got to change for them to be 2-2?
I mean, the offensive line, I think, has to be the starting point. That team decided not to go get a left tackle. Teron Armstead was out there on the market, can still play. Ended up getting a very reasonable deal. Colts were like 3rd in cap space. We decided to roll out Matt Pryor and Bernard Raymer, who I think will be good at some point. But you give Matt Ryan, who has concrete shoes and like rigor mortis legs, no help. I mean, he was running for his life, and this is not a man that should be running anywhere on a football field. And the dude, I really don't think he can throw it further than 20 or 30 yards at this point.
Like Old Man Rivers style?
Old Man Rivers. I think 30 yards is probably his max. But we don't know because we haven't seen a pass play develop long enough for the receivers to get downfield for him to throw it more than 30 yards.
Y'all have been kind of banged up, though.
That's what I was gonna
we
say.
don't have Shaq Leonard. We had no Pittman.
Buckner played.
Buckner did play.
You would think he didn't because he's been terrible.
Yeah.
And Ngakoue should be ashamed of himself too because we paid him big money, and that's your former team. And you both got embarrassed. You've had, I think, 0 pressures, 0 sacks. You've been terrible. Kenny Moore, you've been terrible.
Yeah.
You talked about the big contract extension you want like 2 or 3 years early, and you come out and you're terrible. Quentin Nelson, you just got paid $20 million a year. You're the highest paid guard in history.
Can we put Quentin Nelson at tackle?
You've been terrible. I mean, at this point, you got to start getting. But you're right on, Bobo. You got your not just a nobody with Shaq Leonard. That's an all-pro, rare player. That's a major game changer type player. And I've said from the beginning of the year, JT's the sexy, publicly known fantasy option. There's no more valuable player in terms of irreplaceable on the Colts roster than Pittman on offense, especially because
Look at the wide receivers.
Is us.
We like these guys, but it's Ashton Doolin and Michael Strawn and Paris Campbell. Like, that ship has sailed. I don't think that we are being very well coached right now either. Nyheim Hines had 3 targets, I think, on the opening drive and then played 15 snaps the rest of the game. I mean, that's inexcusable. Yeah. You're down to Ashton Doolin as your number 1 wide receiver, and you don't throw Nyheim Hines out in the slot for 90% of snaps? Like, what are we doing? And then Gus Bradley is literally getting absolutely spit roasted with this offensive game plan that the Jaguars came in with. I mean, they were picking them to pieces. They had absolutely no answer.
It was death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yes.
It was 7 yards.
There was
9
no
yards, 10
adjustment.
yards.
And this is something they talked about on the Athletic Football Show of, like, Gus Bradley was a questionable hire when the hire was made. And now 2 games into the season, we really have to question why the Texans and the Jags were basically able to move up and down the field on us for stretches. I don't know, boys. I think if you ask what has to change, Bobo, I think what will change, I think we very well might see a defensive coordinator coaching change before the season is over. Because I just don't think Gus Bradley's getting it done.
What about head coach?
What do you think, Connie? What's your temperature on Reich? Because I know you were a little hotter on getting Reich out of there than I was.
If you don't have Sean Payton on the other line, and that pains me to say, that's the coach from obviously Bountygate, the coach that beat the Colts in the Super Bowl. But call it what it is. Reich is way over his skis right now, and the honeymoon phase is over with. The Andrew Luck retired 2 weeks before the season is over with. But we all have our flaws in everything we do, personal, professional, whatever it is. If you look at Reich, his biggest flaw is his inability to not pretzel himself. And he cannot get out of his own way of being too cute in games, too cute with who he uses. And then after the games, he'll say, well, we got out-coached. Yeah. I've got to use so-and-so. And it's just rinse, lather, repeat with that
and
same
how are we
thing.
never ready to start a season?
That's exactly it.
How do we come out flat every single year? And I understand he's been through 5 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But everyone
haven't been terrible quarterbacks.
No, everyone was raving. I mean, we talked about it on this show. The Michael Pittman quote of, like, it is so different with Matt Ryan at quarterback. Everyone is where they're supposed to be. And
y'all want Carson back today?
No.
No.
Not at all.
I think there was more to that story than just the on-the-field play, because he clearly wasn't the issue.
Are they 1-1?
They're 1-1, yeah. They beat the Jags and then lost to the...
I think more what it is for Carson is Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel's healthy. And Antonio Gibson. Like, he got way more tools than Matt Ryan has right now.
Yeah.
The other thing maybe about the Colts is, like...
he can also move around. Carson Wentz actually has a little bit of escapability.
The Colts are kind of a conglomeration right now. You know, you've got a young Nick Cross in there. You know, no Leonard, so you're kind of weird with, like, Okereke and E.J. Speed, who's still kind of younger in that defense. Yeah, Franklin as well. But even on the offense, like we're talking about, like Jelani, you got Granson, who I really like, but, you know, how integrated is he into the actual offense at this point? Alec Pierce is cool, but, I mean, does he really need to be on an NFL field week 2? Like, I don't think he was not draft, NFL ready in my eyes. He needed to sit half a year. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, it's just you're throwing people to the wolves probably earlier than they need to be. I would like to see Cross sit for a little while and kind of learn.
I think he is. I mean, he only played 60% of snaps.
Yep. You got to face the facts, man. The team just not that talented.
Yeah.
You don't got a lot of pieces anymore. And Quentin Nelson is kind of, I think we've seen the best of him. He hasn't been performing what you guys were used to at this point.
And they just paid him. They just gave him record money too. That's the worst part.
DeForest Buckner's seen better days. All these guys, even Shaq Leonard, man, he can't stay healthy at this point.
It's a running trend. Well, here we knew maybe we're in a little hot water when every argument for the Colts maybe making some noise this season was they play in the AFC South. That's where it started. It was never really about the team itself. It was, well, they're in the AFC South, so hell, 8 wins may get you the division, And
they still may.
Yeah, I'm not saying because we had these similar conversations last year when we were sitting at 0-3, and we had to pull off. I was looking at the schedule from last year. I think it was a close win against maybe the Dolphins was our first W last year. So, but we got the Chiefs coming up. I think we have the Titans coming up, the Broncos coming up. We play the AFC West this year, I believe, is our out of division.
There's a legitimate chance that Josh and I are going the weekend of Halloween to Lucas Oil to watch Carson Wentz beat probably a defeated. I don't know if you can call us defeated if we have a tie.
Winless.
We'll be winless.
Yeah.
A winless Colts team, and he'll probably beat us.
That'll be spooky.
Wow.
But the last thing I would just want to chime in, because I gave Reich some heat, and I know him and Ballard listen to this.
It's true.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for listening.
They're some of our paid supporters, actually.
Yeah.
Ballard is not without blame in all this as well, and I have been.
I would put more of the blame on Ballard, actually.
So as much as Reich is okay, you want to get cute on everything that you do. It's like everything has to be Philly special to him, and it's not. It's not that hard when you're 4th and 1 from the goal line. You run it with the best back in the league behind the highest paid line in the league, but Reich can't do that.
Wasn't that game 1 we do a wildcat?
To Naeem Hines.
Yeah.
But you look at what Ballard has done in a sense of like, okay, you never want to address tackle like Josh said. You wanted to trade the 13th pick to go get DeForest Buckner when you could have traded up to get Herbert.
Yeah.
You've had, and of course, revisionist history is so easy to look at that now and say, man, you could have had Herbert, but you got Buckner now.
Or a receiver. That was the receiving draft also.
Yep.
Yeah, like what is all, and again, you look at it now, the receivers of what they have, and like you said, Bob, Alec Pierce had a terrible week 1, dropped a touchdown, got concussed, didn't play week 2. Ballard's been on record saying if any position you shouldn't count on from a rookie standpoint, it's receiver because it's such a big leap in the NFL. And who does he basically have as the Colts' second receiver? Alec Pierce.
Who does he take as the first pick? I mean, he was our first pick in the draft, right? Second round.
So you go against your
Pierce
own.
was a second rounder.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think he was. Yeah,
our second round pick.
It's just with Reich and what he says, guys, we can't have it. We can't have our cake and eat it too. You can't say that you got to get better and you can't be out coached and there's this and that, and you can't be a GM that says, oh well, we can't count on this, but you do, and oh, we're okay with this, but we're the worst in the league at it. And it's just all these just mountains of just cliches and BS have just totally piled up, and this is where we're at.
I didn't understand the Jelani Woods pick either. I didn't think that y'all needed a third tight end behind Mo Alley and Granson.
Yeah, and then
I know Doyle's gone, but still.
Woods ends up with the was it torn ACL, torn Achilles?
Is Jelani hurt? I didn't know he was hurt.
Yeah,
really?
Jelani's out for the season, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, one of the tight ends. We still have Mo Alley Cox and Kylan Granson,
Maybe
right?
it is. I'm gonna look it up.
Please look it up, Bobo. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. But Addy, what's your take right now on the AFC South? You think the Jags win that thing at like 7-10?
Yeah, maybe so, man. I mean, they look like they have the most talent at this point.
They have the best quarterback.
They got the best quarterback, and that's very important in the NFL. But yeah, I mean, their defense got much better. Trayvon Walker looks pretty good already. There doesn't look like there's going to be much development, for needed for that guy. So Josh Allen, he looks like a top 5 edge.
He destroyed us.
Yeah,
on Sunday.
So those linebackers, Devin Lloyd looks really, really good.
Yes.
Yep. We're in the 30. Was it 33? The number? I think Devin Lloyd's number 33.
He looks great out there.
Throws me off. I think he looks like a DB.
I love the drip he's got going on. We need to have a discussion about which top linebacker has the best drip, because not a lot of the top guys really are that drippy.
It's true.
Roquan's not drippy.
Yeah.
Leonard's not really that drippy. Anyway, Jaguars are a good team. I like the Jaguars. I mean, they
have a respectable head coach.
It's Peterson, man.
Yeah, Peterson's, I think, really done well and is going to turn that group around. But yeah, I'd go Jags today, I think.
There you go. It was Drew Ogletree. That was the injury. They were really excited about that guy, though. So that's what maybe.
Who do you sense?
I mean, I think the Colts can still pull it together. I think this is still a team with some talent.
They get Shaq Leonard back. They get on Jonathan Taylor's back.
Yeah.
That's the formula.
You get Houston twice a year.
Yep.
You're going to see the Titans twice a year. Derrick Henry's not what he used to be. We've already talked about that.
I think it could be the Colts, but again, I think it may be like 8-1. Like, I think it may be close to a 500 record as you can get in a 17-game season.
So by saying that you all drew the AFC West, does that mean that like Houston and Jacksonville, all of them are going to play a majority of those teams?
Yep.
Okay, so everybody's going to see
Everybody's going to see the Chiefs,
Chargers,
Raiders.
Yeah.
I think you guys, every team in that division may go 0-4 against the other divisions.
It's true.
Well,
It's a bad division.
unless Russ actually starts cooking. At
Russ
some point.
is the
It's been funny to listen to the audible with Cecil Lammey. He's like a huge, Denver insider, and he's like, Hackett's got to go. This dude just can't cut it.
Yeah.
This dude just is not good, And it's like, wow, 2 games in, and
Yeah, man.
one of your biggest kind of like, not cheerleaders, but like people who hypes you up in the national scene is like, yep, that coach, got to get him out of there.
Wow.
But if your fans are counting down the play clock so that you don't have a delay of game, something has gone horribly wrong 2 games into your tenure. Did you see this? The Denver fans are literally counting down the play clock at Mile High Stadium.
For why?
Because Hackett was not getting the play calls in
time
quick enough, and so they were having these delay of games. He ended up having a delay of game that pushed him out of field goal range. They had to punt. That was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. They were getting booed at home in a win.
What?
Yeah.
I saw the weird Russ video of him like mandating his teammates.
runner pass.
Runner pass.
That
which
was
I'm
great.
Like, okay, Russ,
And
we
dude,
get it. You're a robot.
The schedule is Seattle and then Houston.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, those are 2 cupcake teams.
2 gimmies.
Just, and they're struggling with them.
Loss and a really hard-fought win.
Yeah.
They remind me of like this is a poor analogy, but like the Green Bay of the AFC, where they like, man, they got a great quarterback, but they don't have a lot else otherwise. They just.
But is Russ a great quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
at
a common
this point-
thing, these grinded out
Yeah.
games with him.
I think he's an above-average quarterback, but I don't think he's
A little overrated maybe
yes,
at this point.
Yeah.
I did think the trade and then quick extension was a little quick for Russ.
Yeah.
Given his age, I know everybody kind of, after the whole Stafford thing, I feel like everybody's kind of looking at that now. But even Stafford is like,
Yeah, we may not like that.
Honeymoon may be over there.
yeah,
know.
seriously. We can crap on the Rams for 30 minutes if y'all want
No,
to.
he had a
needs
nice
Odell.
bounce back.
Yeah. It was the freaking Falcons.
Yeah.
The Falcons did come back and make
That
it
is true.
interesting.
That's right. I forgot. That was another one of those weird games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost pulled it off.
Drake London looks great.
Who
Yeah.
has the best offensive line in the game? Because
The
it's not
Eagles.
the Rams.
It's the Eagles.
Probably
It is
the
Eagles?
Eagles.
Yep.
Yeah. Jalen threw a ball last night that I don't know if it's still landed. I mean, it was probably like a 50-yard bomb right down the middle that he threw.
There are a lot of holes in Jalen's game, but man, dude's got a super strong arm. He can pick apart zone.
Yeah.
He's a great runner.
Mhm.
And he's just one of those dudes I'm not going to bet against. There's intangible qualities to like a quarterback. That sort of idea with Burrow that you're never out of a game if he's your quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if he's getting sacked 13 times in 2 games. But that was just, when I was thinking about that team, I just thought, I'm not going to bet against him. And I think he can get better, especially with better surrounding talent there.
He's very similar to Lamar. I think Lamar is a better runner, but I think Jalen is a better passer. And now Lamar looks like he has a 1 in Bateman.
That's right.
And then
It's Bateman season, baby.
I know I love Likely, but then Likely and Mark Andrews look like they're going to be really useful for Lamar this year. But you're right, man, Josh. I mean, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Oh, my gosh. That's going to be a good team.
The Ravens got to get healthy for the other side of my prediction. But, man, Lamar's already playing like an MVP. The defense has to get healthy. I hope they don't get snake bit by the injury bug again. But it's already kind of trending that way.
They're just not really doing a whole lot either. Odafe Owe's kind of been quiet so far this year. Madubuike has been all right. Pat Queen has kind of been in rotation. One of them got hurt. Who's the safety that came in there?
Marcus Williams.
I think he got hurt.
I think he's
been out of
okay.
his mind.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
get
been.
to him tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but there'll be some Marcus Williams talk on the pod. But
Who's the team in the NFL that can turn it around in 2 weeks?
well, boy, I always look at the quarterbacks, right? And it's like there aren't a lot of teams. I think if you're asking that question, you have to look at the teams that are 0-2 right now.
Sure.
And I think that we've mentioned the Colts. I think they can just by sheer virtue of the fact that they have a good quarterback and a good coach. Are they going to do it against the Chiefs and the Titans? I don't know. I think we could be looking at 1-3, 0-4 by the time that those two games are up. But
Raiders would be one.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising they're 0-2, right?
They've had a tough schedule.
Yeah,
though.
man.
I mean, Arizona, they had them at home.
Kyler doing silly stuff, dog.
That was a must-win game for Arizona, you know.
Titans can turn it around. As much as I hate them,
Titans
I
could,
mean,
sure.
You know, you do play in the AFC South. You got boat raced by the best team in the league with probably the MVP on it, probably the Super Bowl team.
Boy,
but
Bengals are an obvious candidate.
Who do we have after the Broncos game? So it goes Chiefs, Titans, Broncos, Jaguars. So it's like
then
we'll
the Titans
see.
again,
and then Titans again.
Yeah,
that's a really crucial start to the season because you have so many division games stacked in there, and then you get the Chiefs layered in and the Broncos is a nice little treat.
That's tough.
What's Carolina going to do? Because Baker's not it.
I think Matt Rule's getting fired probably by Halloween.
Yeah.
And Baker's just playing out the string, and they're with a new quarterback and a new coach for 2023.
Speaking of coaches that could get fired, why in the world did they extend Kingsbury in Arizona? That looks like such a mess.
Why have they done a lot of the things?
He's on the hot
exactly.
seat now, isn't he?
No,
Don't you think?
he just got extended. Well, I guess he could
I still
be.
think they'll both be fired by the end of the season.
Didn't they just extend Kime also? I
They
think
did.
both of
They
them.
extended them both through 2027.
Gosh.
The only person that I think will be in that building of the kind of trifecta that got extended will be Kyler Murray.
Maybe.
Because he's a franchise quarterback. Can you build an offense around this guy? I don't know. I don't think you can build Cliff Kingsbury's offense around anybody because I don't think it's a functional NFL offense, but
or defense.
They're just an old team.
Defense sucks.
I think they might have to burn that thing down and try to get like version 2 going with Kyler and a new coach. We'll see.
Did you see him throw the big fit about? He said somebody hit him in the face when he went over there to celebrate. It's like, dude, stop being such a pee.
Yeah.
Like you go celebrate with the fans. The guy was trying to like get crunk with you. Like he obviously didn't mean to like hurt you because his hand made contact with your face.
I don't know, Connor. You don't need to be doing that, putting your hands on someone like that coming up to celebrate with the stands.
Yeah, he's
celebrate with the
he's
stands.
a weird.
Just celebrating with the actual seats.
Yeah, that's just such a weird move to be like, I'm gonna go celebrate with the fans, and if anyone makes contact with me anywhere, like, dude, you're like jumping
also,
into
Wait, it wasn't at home, was it? Was it at Vegas?
Yeah, it was at Vegas.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're kind of asking for it if you're going.
He's also like 5'6", so like.
People are reaching down to like touch at
Exactly.
you. If you move an inch instead of patting you on the shoulder pads, they may swipe you on the face. But like you weren't bleeding. Or
It
anything.
did look like the guy pushed him with his pushed his face with his hand. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy that if I mean.
Oh yeah, come over here.
I mean, I'm too humble to go to the stands in the first place, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Dear Lord, Josh, how far are we into this episode?
We are
before we got
38
to
minutes. That's
news
what I'm here
and
for.
injury?
That's right. Connie, we appreciate you coming in, talking Colts with us. You want to sit through the news, and then we'll get you out of here to go to Night Lands?
I'm ready to go now, guys.
If you're ready to go right now, we can usher you out of here as well. It's all good.
Yeah, get me the hell out of here.
All right,
I'm done with
Connie.
Adam.
Thank you for coming in and talking Colts, my friend. We will, I'm sure, be having you back on the show here at some point in season.
No, thanks for having me, fellas. I look forward to coming back on here soon.
If the
Love you all.
Colts
Never gonna happen.
fire Frank Reich or Matt Ryan goes down, and we're starting Big Dick Nick the rest of the season, we'll get you back on for an emergency Connie pod.
Yeah, it's something like that, or the team plane goes down. Like it's only the worst of the worst.
Luck
scenarios.
comes back and signs with the Titans.
How's Ursay doing? Is his health okay and everything?
He doesn't look great.
Yeah, I think just Google Scarface images, and you may find some activities that he's engaging
Did you
in.
see him signing those balls after the game, like trying to cheer people up outside?
Yeah, but like, dude, we just paid $1,000 to come in here and get freaking. I'm not even gonna say it, but just get stomped out in front of everybody, and you're sitting here being like, "Oh, I signed a couple $5 footballs."
It's like, Jim,
for
you
everybody."
can't do another plane video.
Yeah.
That was you can't. It's week 2, bud. You got to go home and get some sleep.
That's
Who
his
wants-
thing, though.
Who wants the Jim Irsay signature? Who's
Yeah.
who's wanting that?
Not even his own children, unless they're signing a check or something. Don't want
Right.
Jim's signature. All right, Connie, get out of here. Get home. We appreciate you, hon. And boys, let's keep going here and spin through some news and talk about. Yeah, get out of here, Connie. We'll talk about some IDP related news. Addie, I'm sure you saw the news, and we're excited. IDP managers might have forgotten about Dre, but the San Francisco 49ers sure did not, giving Dre Greenlaw a 2-year extension worth close to $19 million with $10 million guaranteed. This was a good sign. We know that Greenlaw is pretty well locked in as the linebacker 2 for this team thus far this season, and they reward one of their own with a new deal. I'm happy for Dre.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited. I'm not excited. Who don't care?
You're not getting any of that money.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good for Dre. Now, personally, I think this isn't really. I would prefer to see Dre go somewhere else and get out of the shadows of Fred Warner, and I don't know. Z's probably won't be there next year, but maybe he is. They seem to like him. I know he's definitely the third linebacker there as far as snaps, but still a solid linebacker in his own right. So I would have preferred Greenlaw to test the open market and maybe have more of the linebacker tackle chair to himself. But whatever, it's he's going to be productive there in San Francisco, I think. So whatever, who cares? It's good for him.
It's good for Dre. We like that. We like when guys get their money. So congratulations to Dre Greenlaw. Bobo, does it move the needle for you at all that Jalen Smith has signed to the Giants practice squad?
I don't care. Yeah. Really, I don't care. Jalen Smith could stay on the practice squad all year. There's a chance he doesn't even make the active roster. Where did he go last year? I think he went to Green Bay.
Wasn't he at?
He was with the Giants
for a second.
Yeah,
Isn't that
stopped in, had a cup of coffee.
You had Blake Martinez there. You kick him out, and you bring in Jalen Smith.
What are we doing?
It's like, hey, GM, who are the worst linebackers we could possibly sign? Well, Jalen Smith, get him in here, get him on the practice squad.
Where's Joe? Call Joe Schobert.
We got to get him in here.
Let's. We want Tay Crowder to have a mentor. Let's get
exactly.
Jalen Smith in
Who
here.
can make Tay Crowder even worse? Let's get old Jalen Smith in the building.
Yeah, no thanks.
Well, we mentioned with the doubleheader Monday night, which did y'all boys like the doubleheader Monday night?
Yeah.
We usually get it week 1, so it's just bumped back a week.
I didn't like the way they did it. I mean, in my experience, typically they did that the opening week of the year, and it was one game at 6 o'clock, one game at like 9 something.
9 o'clock, and you were up till like 1 a.m. watching that game.
I'm okay with that.
That's great.
I'm an adult.
Yeah,
I can do that.
I can handle that.
Done it my whole life.
Yeah, don't go to bed
Quite
ever.
the night owl. All right, I'm a bad boy.
Bubba, it was interesting to me that some rumors, some theories flying around about why this doubleheader week 2, and the theory I heard that I liked the best was they wanted to give the Russell Wilson return to Seattle as much oxygen as they possibly could for week 1.
Well, he got beat, so congratulations.
And it was a Geno Smith game.
Yeah.
NFL schedule makers. That would have been the perfect time. Sprinkle in a little Bills, Titans, or whatever it is on top of that turd.
Did you see who we got next week in primetime?
Well, I know we have Steelers-Browns on Thursday.
Yeah, that's a great one. But then one of the Sunday nights or Monday nights, it's Daniel Jones versus
Daniel Jones. I'd like that a lot better. Can we start that?
Right, that would be fun. So Daniel Jones versus Cooper Rush.
Oh,
Nice.
God.
So that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for just putting the Cowboys in prime time.
Why do we do
all
this?
the time?
Yeah,
every
why do we
year.
do this?
But some shout out to one of the best friends of the show, Dan Hanses, for maybe the best segment name of all time. Sipping on Vino, checking on Gino.
That's right.
I love that it's
It's back
coming
now.
back around.
It is back. It is all the way back. But the Monday night game, Matt Milano appears to have sustained a stinger injury at some point, though the exact nature, severity of the injury unclear at this point. So keep an eye on Milano.
That was awesome. That swung so many of my best ball matchups.
Right?
Because I had a lot of Milano.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
Yeah. He's
and he
great.
kind of had a ho-hum game before,
Yeah.
up until then.
It definitely saved it for him. So just pay attention to that this week. Check in on Matt Milano. The team was up big, so it could have just been an abundance of caution situation. Safety Micah Hyde also left the Monday night game due to a neck injury. We also had some other unfortunate injury news. Browns defensive end Jadeveon Clowney has already been ruled out for this Thursday's game versus the Steelers. Myles Garrett with a neck injury is not expected to practice. I guess we could check to see if he actually did practice today. So I think Garrett will be fine. Clowney is definitely out. Kyle Duggar of the Patriots left the game against the Steelers. this was some significant news. Speaking of New York, the Giants defensive end Leonard Williams suffered a right MCL sprain versus the Panthers. Quinnen Williams left Sunday's game with a foot injury and did not return. This one hurt my heart, boys. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle Akeem Hicks could miss up to 4 weeks with a plantar fascia tear in his foot.
Y'all ever had that?
It's the worst, man.
It's horrible.
I got it in Chicago. The first time Allie and I ever went to Chicago, we were on a date night, and I wore really nice dress shoes, trekking all across, probably walking 3 or 4 miles across Chicago. Had my plantar fasciitis flare up. It felt like a knife right in the middle of my foot.
It's awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So hopefully Akeem Hicks is okay.
Did you cut it off?
I wish I could have. I
do you guys
literally
have?
had to limp around Chicago the rest of that trip.
You guys get those little things you put your foot on and roll.
Roll it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you can really do.
That's all you can do,
so.
man. Yeah, you just got to rest it and roll it out. But, yeah, that, you know what I mean, folks.
Yes, sir.
That Tampa Bay team, Addy, slowly being chipped away, though, with injuries. You've got Julio Jones banged up. Now Mike Evans is suspended. You've got Akeem Hicks out.
They're all right. They're okay. They can afford some injuries just because they're still. I mean, they're pretty deep. You know, we'll get to see maybe the young guy, Logan Hall, a little more now.
Did you see who they signed? I think to the practice squad.
Cole Beasley?
Cole Beasley.
That's
The
a nice-
Beazles.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, Tom Brady, we know
Don't mind
he,
that.
he likes those little slot receivers. Cole Beasley was
Is this
pretty
his
solid.
new Wes Welker?
We'll see. To
We'll
be continued.
see.
But I mean, I guess we're gonna get to him. But shout out Devin White. My Lord.
He's doing the Lord's work.
My
this first 2 weeks of the
Lord.
season. To wrap up the injuries here, fellas, Titans edge rusher Bud Dupree left Monday's contest against the Bills due to a hip injury, did not return. Let's just lose another edge rusher, Tennessee. That's absolutely brutal. We hope that Bud Dupree is all right. And then Cam Curl, thumb injury, has been cleared to return to action week 3. What does this do to Dark Forest? Is this
Yeah, I mean, you can't start him this week, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully Forrest replaces McCain. Because, I mean, McCain's not useful for IDP. He's way too up and down. Forrest has already shown that he's pretty damn good. Now,
solid?
Now, maybe his role changes with Cameron Curl coming back, but, I mean, I don't know. I think they're going to maybe try and find a way to get Forrest involved more. I mean, he didn't grade well this past week. He graded like a 91.5 as week 1.
Absolutely murdered me in all 22, by the way. Picked him up. I thought, okay, we're going to get another week of Forrest. Graded really well.
Nope.
Plopped out a big old 40 this week. So thanks for that, Forrest. Still haven't cracked the code on the all 22
It's
at
tough.
all.
It's tough.
No idea what I'm doing.
Luckily for him, though, McCain's not grading well either. So, I mean, there is a chance. And plus, I mean, they've used Forrest in that deep, which is what McCain really is playing for them. So, there's a chance it could be Forrest and Curl, but I'm not going to try any of these guys out there yet just because there's a new safety in the mix now. Let's just be patient. And also, let's see what type of snap count Curl gets. I mean,
That's right. I think it's a good week to just set him down. I'm not playing Forrest. I'm not playing Curl. Let's just see what happens.
I mean, I think it's going to be Curl's job again.
I think so.
That's not going to happen, I wouldn't think.
But it does worry me because Forrest played well.
Forrest played well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it could definitely happen.
Bobo, you rolling either of these guys out, or are you sitting them down week 3?
I was looking more at Rashad Weaver, thinking kind of about that Titans line, who's going to play. You're going to play Simmons. You're going to play Danico Autry, and then Rashad Weaver actually played 57 snaps last week and didn't produce any tackles, any sacks, anything. They did play the Bills, and that was a really weird game, so it kind of might be a throwout game. But I don't know. Weaver's a guy that kind of perks my interest a little bit.
I agree. He was one of my waiver ads last week. Tweet us and out. Yeah, Tennessee, man. Here's something that I was thinking about because I've been in there adjusting the ranks and trying to get those things nice and tight.
That's right. We should let the folks know that paid supporters over at the IDPshow.com, year-round access to Addy's Dynasty ranks. He's getting them ready for y'all. We should probably have those, I'd say, ready to roll within the next week or so.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, you're getting in there, tightening them up a little bit.
So I'm thinking about things a little bit. So one of the thoughts I'm having right now, defensive tackles, is Jeffrey Simmons DT1?
It's possible.
I think Bobo needs to be the first one to answer this.
No, it's possible. I mean, Aaron Donald had a pretty early sack week 1, but then aside from that, hasn't really done a whole lot. But I kind of thought that this might be happening this year because aside from Leonard Floyd, he doesn't really have a lot of help. There is Terrell Lewis, who has had kind of a chronic knee issue the last couple of years. I don't exactly know what his is, but he's the only other defensive lineman for the Rams that is there to help Donald. I don't know. As much as I hate to say it, we might be in the sell Donald window. I legitimately, in XFFL, saw him on the roster for $11 million and thought,
It's getting up there a little bit now.
he's getting there. And not only that, but like the team is like, what are we doing with the Rams?
Yeah.
You
He
know?
sent them retirement papers
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
in the offseason.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're right, Adam. I mean, you know,
In Dynasty, though.
Simmons looks like a
In
maniac.
Dynasty, yeah.
In Dynasty, is Simmons, I mean, and also he's 25
Let's-
versus 31 for Aaron Donald.
Let's say yes. Let's say yes.
think
We
I have
try
him
to
as
be
DC1
ahead.
now.
We try to be ahead of the wave, right?
Yeah, but this one is we've seen it with Simmons. This isn't a hot take right
But
here.
God, it's hard to move Donald off that one spot, though.
Now, listen-
I get why you're struggling with this.
Donald is still fine. If you're gonna contend this year, like don't. He's had a couple down
Yeah.
games. It's gonna be okay. Donald's still gonna have
He's gonna
8 to
have-
10 sacks. He's
Yes.
gonna be a fine, especially if you're in a
Shit,
DT
dude,
league.
he's gonna have 12 to 14.
Yeah, but you are right. As far as the DT one in Dynasty goes, Simmons is sliding into that category.
There we go. So look forward to that. TheIDPshow.com, folks, if you'd like to support the show. Addie's in there working on the ranks. You might have gotten a peek at him before they went into the IDP draft kit. I got to look at him today. And Addie, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting across from me. Best ranks in the game, folks. Because they're not only well thought out, they're deep. The amount of information you are packing into these ranks, I have never seen anything like it.
There's tons of stuff in
It's
there.
truly almost like a database for Dynasty IDP at this
Yeah,
point.
that's just kind of I want to give the people what I look at. You know, what I'm interested in. So I mean that's there it is. That's what I care about. Those are the metrics I'm looking at. Those are the players I like, and also I'm aware of perceived value of everyone. You know, we've been doing this thing for 3.5 years. We're very involved in dynasty leagues, very involved in best balls. We have a very good pulse on value. Are we going to be right all the time? No, but that's how dynasty works. It's constantly going up and down. You know, so we're pretty right on the pulse with everything happening. So don't expect any different from these ranks. I mean, it's I'm proud of them, and
It's top tier.
they're going to keep getting better.
And
So-
we had that conversation today amongst us three about value and about ADP and about what that looks like week 2 for some of these players. And, everybody just looks at metrics differently. Everybody values people differently. Everybody, uses different, methodologies to come up with why they do or don't like a certain player. But mostly from us, you're going to hear from our ADP because Josh put out so many best balls this year. We all have multiple dynasty teams. We all have multiple redraft teams. So we're out drafting. We know what ADP is. We're going to freaking look at PFF till we're blue in the face. We care about exactly what Adam's been beating the drum about a bunch this year. And I think that's kind of the motto is we're going to bet on talent. We're going to bet on good players. We're going to bet on that there's a potential that some of these players are going to break out of a scheme and that they're going to change a coaching team's philosophy. But we're going to give credit where credit's due, Got to give some shout out to PFF Marcy. His stuff is good. Macri knows what he's talking about. PFF numbers are great. But yeah.
That utilization report, boys, is
It's the best.
That's been a game
It's the best
changer.
thing
So
in the
good.
game.
it has absolutely been blowing my mind. I still laugh when I open it and it says 40-minute read time.
Yeah.
We joked about that on the preview pod of like PFF needs to take that thing off there. But just skim through, get the nuggets that you need. John has waiver wire targets in there, some kind of headline items to kick things off. There's a team-by-team kind of thing where you can click through to see the different teams, man.
Make no mistake.
God bless.
Macri is the MVP of IDP for the last 2 years. He's
Yeah.
the reason why everyone is talking usage all the time. He's the one. He's a big reason why everyone has gotten so much smarter, and we play a big part in that too. We're always. I think we're much better than we used to be as well. We're looking at things that we were never looking at. Right? It was more like we like this guy because he's fun.
Yeah, that's what Lauren, I was talking to him when he came into town. He said, you guys used to just sit there and talk like, this guy's good, and that was it. But now you actually have like numbers to back it up.
Yeah. I mean, we've evolved, we've grown. So I mean, But yeah, I think Macri and what he's done over there at PFF. I mean, the community and people that play IDP are smarter than they've ever been. That's why looking through my waivers in these deep leagues, bro, it is trash right now.
It is
There
so
is
hard.
such trash out there. Nothing available. Like
Because people have gotten better.
yeah, because there's no more secrets, and there's a lot of really good people out there doing good work.
Yep. We mentioned that witch again. Scratch it off your bingo card, folks. Josh getting interrupted. Macri getting mentioned. Golf getting talked up.
Connie crying about the Colts.
Connie being just Jordan face about the Colts once again.
Choked up.
We got to get him in here for something besides soul-crushing agony. Gentlemen, let's talk top scorers. We're not going to hit all these folks, but we're going to go position by position and just call out some guys that we were ecstatic to see pop up here on this top 24 list. And I'll start things right off the top here with the rookie from Detroit, Aiden Hutchinson. Welcome to the NFL, big dog. Hit us with the Michael Jackson, Billie Jean performance on Hard Knocks, and then hit us with 35.5 points this week after putting up a stinker, 0.75 points in week 1. My dude had 5 solos, 1 assist, 2 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 3 QB hits. Dude's a baller, Addy. You love to see it.
He's a top 15 dynasty asset
Already.
Yeah.
And if you're like, but he put up 0.75 points the first, this is IDP, folks. This is how this stuff goes, especially at the edge position. And we want these guys that can swing games. I guarantee you, a lot of Hutchinson managers won their matchups this week.
He's 22, and he just put up 3 sacks in his second game. And we know all about the profile. We know all about the college production. Bro, this is a can't miss.
And this is an ascending Lions team.
And
we really like this Lions team.
Love the culture of the Lions. Love the juice in that locker room. Speaking of, that's a fun team. I mean, that they are very fun on offense. They
Love
have
everything about that team.
so many fun players, and the defense is kind of getting there, you know. So yeah, I love Aiden Hutchinson. He is my edge 7.
That makes sense.
Edge 7. Let's tell you who we got in front of him.
Little preview.
Nick Bosa.
Yep.
Myles Garrett. TJ Watt, even though he can't stay healthy. Max Triple X Crosby. Josh Allen. Joey Bosa. Aiden Hutchinson. Brian Burns.
Let me ask you this.
Wow.
Could you see a world where if somebody offered you Aiden Hutchinson for Max Crosby, you would take that?
It's a very fair deal in my opinion.
I think so. I think that's a very fair deal. And depending on where I was, I think if I was like a up-and-coming team that was a year or 2 away, maybe I think I would do that. You know, depends on where your team is. But, oh, boy.
Crosby looks great.
Yeah, he does.
He looks great.
So I love seeing Aiden Hutchinson break out. I also love because we were ranking, I believe it was on the preview pod, we were talking up Carl Lawson, Shaq Barrett, and then one other edge rusher. I can't think. Josh Sweat.
That's right.
And I said, we both came to the conclusion, even with the Saints, even with, you know, this offensive line being pretty good, we still could not sit Shaq Barrett down. It's still Jameis Winston at the end of the day.
No, man.
And Shaq Barrett goes nuclear, 33.45 points, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, 3 QB hits, and 5 solos, Addy.
Shaq Barrett is.
It's just Shaq Barrett doing Shaq Barrett things.
I mean, he was a top 10 edge for us in the kit. I mean, we love this guy. I mean, he's one of the best edge rushers in the league. Yeah, you never sit Shaq Barrett. I can't. Also, we're probably going to see some stuff like in your more, you know, non-serious leagues. I'd imagine we're going to see Fred Warner getting dropped.
Yeah.
I'd imagine maybe some people are dropping Josie Jewell. So I mean, this is one of those weeks where. Depending on the league size, you may want to sit your waiver. If you do waiver priority, you may want to sit that first run out just because maybe you can improve your priority and get one of these guys that gets dropped, because I think you're going to see some drops.
A week 2 tilt is, after week 1, you're
real.
like, okay, I lost week 1, but 0-2 is like, we got to write this shit pretty
and Fred
fast.
Warner's sucking it up. You know, we love Fred Warner, but I mean, he's not getting it done with that. But I mean, they've been in some unfortunate games.
Yeah, it was a rain game, and
yeah, it's just so.
Playing
But
Seattle.
people are not patient, especially in this day and age. I'll
That's
say
right.
that.
They want it right now.
That's right.
This is, I believe, to borrow a fantasy footballer's term, drop it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Bobo. See, not only don't just look at the waivers, but look at the guys that are dropped to make room for those waiver acquisitions, because you can find some pretty good players on the discard pile.
Absolutely. Even offensively. I feel like, oh my gosh, I was thinking about that earlier. I've had a couple leagues where it's been a struggle to start the year. I've got a lot of Keenan, a lot of Kamara,
A-Rob,
a lot of no, I don't have any A-Rob. A lot of Elijah Mitchell. Who else do I have that's
Elijah
hurt right
Moore.
now?
He's sucking it up.
I have a lot of offensive people that are injured right now. But I was like, man, you might start seeing some of these Keenan Allens, maybe not Keenan Allen, but Chris Godwin. I'm sure he's out there. Those are the equivalent on the IDP's side of things that you're going to start seeing out there, because people are going to start tilting, and people are already trading. I mean, we had a couple trades go down today in our main league. You're gonna start seeing some people maybe fold it up a little earlier.
Yeah, sometimes those 0-2 teams are just like, man, I'm
done.
done.
Bust. Looking themselves in the mirror saying,
I can't
bust.
come back from this.
Yeah.
This is impossible. We even have an extra game, but I'm still done.
Shout out Nico.
Oh,
You might have started the season out that way though.
So another guy I wanted to call out, Bobo, is a guy that I saw some start-sit discussions between, I believe it was Highsmith and Brian Burns. I think most of the folks I saw were going in the start Brian Burns direction, and I'm glad that if the guy who was asking the question went that direction, he was rewarded with 29.9 points by Big Three scoring, 4 solos, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, and 4 QB hits.
There's people getting too cute.
Yep.
That's Highsmith scored more week 1. He's a better player. Everything that happens in week 1 is forever.
That's a new character, but I'm here for it.
I loved it too.
Yeah, that was good. That was intense. I think there's some spit
Thank you.
flying this way.
It's all right. I ain't got the COVID.
Yeah, it's Brian Burns was balling out, Bobo. So was Josh Allen. We mentioned this when Connie was here.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrecked shop against the Colts. 26.2 points after 16.5 week 1. So Josh Allen's season has not gone anywhere, Bobo. I'd say we're actually in the midst of round 2 of Josh Allen's season.
I believe I said it not too long ago that there's a crazy world where Josh Allen could be the edge one on the season. And I believe Josh Allen had a sack, or maybe it was just a forced fumble in week 1. But look at the old PFF grade there, 91.4 overall with a 90.4 pass rush grade. I mean, if you're into PFF like we are, those
You're
are
in all 22. You want Josh Allen on your team.
Also, everyone's in the PFF. I see everyone in the industry starting to use it now.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna steal stats from PFF, make sure you're tagging PFF.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who like to talk shit about PFF, but literally use their data because they're the best at the data. So tag PFF.
Adam's also applied for a job at PFF.
That's right. I'm trying to work at PFF.
He's trying to get Chris Collingsworth's
Yeah.
attention.
I'm gonna send him this clip.
Hey, Chris, if you don't mind, I saw a good question today in the football guys Discord. It was good Lord, boys.
Ask me question.
I'm having another stroke.
Oh lordy.
It was asking, I think rest of season, who do you want for a DL position, Sam Hubbard or old Greg Rousseau?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Oh, Greg.
Old Greg.
You guys are going old Greg?
Absolutely.
But Bobby, he doesn't get the snaps. I am spitting.
Yeah, talks that mic is
all
gonna be
right.
saturated.
Maybe it's probably the duck character I'm doing over here.
Yeah. But I pointed him towards Hubbard just because you look at I said, okay, Hubbard, it depends on your team makeup and all that, because I know we're not as worried about Greg Rousseau with the snaps, but Sam Hubbard is getting 91% of snaps thus far on the season.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's not great week 1, but 24 points this week. I mean, I think he's solid. I'm not trying to sit here and dunk on Sam Hubbard.
Yeah, Sam Hubbard's solid.
But are they rotating Osai yet? Is Osai getting any snaps?
I haven't checked his snaps yet.
Because with his,
not really, I don't think.
hey, that could happen. All right, so similar question for you, Josh, because I was sitting here just thinking about this. Got to give some credit to Adam for. I think Josh Sweat was in one of his rest of season people that I'm kind of paying attention to. So rest of season, Josh Sweat or Dorrance Armstrong? They seem eerily similar to me.
Definitely Sweat.
Yeah, I'm a big
Really?
Sweat fan.
I mean, Armstrong slept on for sure. I mean, they need help there in Dallas. I mean, he is, in my opinion, he was the most likely candidate to replace Gregory. And it looks, even though he's not getting the snaps yet either, I think he would be the one that I would peg.
And they're also pretty much conceded at this point that Micah Parsons is an edge rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he played.
BFF's put him as an edge now. I
Yeah.
noticed.
I think if you have him in RSO, he's probably moving to defensive end if you're using the tool where you can switch positions to where they actually line up.
While we're on that, let's stick there for a second. If you're in a true position league and you have a true 3-down linebacker, they are so valuable because I'm going to learn y'all, especially Josh because he's not in there. Adam already knows if y'all are true position. But all of a sudden next year, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, there are so many defensive ends and they're all pretty good. But then you're going to look at the linebackers, you're going to be like, I guess I'll roll out Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks this week. Like, it gets bleak, like, really, really fast in there. So
Especially, I mean, when you're in leagues where everyone starts 3 linebackers, and if you have a flex, they're probably starting 4.
Yes.
I mean, there's the pool is depleted.
Yep.
Once you make that switch.
Literally, that's my lineup in Listener League. I've got Hicks, I've got Kendricks, and then I've got Devon Diablo, who's getting a ton of snaps and is playing pretty decent. But anyways, just a little tidbit.
In that one, I'm going to have Khalil Mack now as my defensive end.
I have Mack as well.
That's
That's amazing.
nice.
I have
That's
Shaq
so
Barrett,
nice.
Shaq Barrett's my other defensive end.
I have Shaq
Oh
Barrett
my
I had
also.
Harold Landry.
Yep.
I mean, just a absurd amount of riches.
Yep. Love it.
And there's tons on the waivers. Dude, Josh Sweat's on the waivers. That's why he was included in that little tweet.
Oh my gosh.
What
Did we
about-
touch on that? Some waivers we're looking at?
No, we did not. But please, Addy, I wanted to ask you about a guy that probably is going to be a big-time waiver wire target after not playing week 1 and then racking up 20.65 points week 2, Rasheem Green for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I mean, shades of Jerry Hughes from last week. And Rasheem Green has definitely done this to us before. Start out hot and then never to be heard from again. But, when you look a little deeper at Green, the dude is just 25. He does flash. But, I mean, he's for sure in a rotation there. I mean, it's Grenard, it's Jerry Hughes, and then it's him. And it's probably Hughes and him fighting for time.
Yeah, Bobby, that was the double. I mean, he's good, but also he's bad. But he is young.
So I have no idea who this guy is.
I have no idea.
But supposedly
how I'm supposed to feel.
Lead analyst for this Texans Wire podcast or something, John Crumpler. So I got to give him a little bit of credit. But he did say Greenard played 67% and Hughes did play 60% of the snaps in week 2. So it still kind of looks like they are going to be rotational. They don't really have one or two. I kind of hoped Greenard would get into that 80-90% snap category.
That's unrealistic in my opinion. If your edge guy's getting 60%, that is healthy as hell.
Yep.
That is very good.
But it could be still a committee. So, yes, Rasheem Green in your deeper leagues.
That's a tough name.
Rasheem Green.
I want to say it with an N. I don't want to say it with an N.
Yeah, I think
that feels
messed it
better
up when I said it.
Rasheem.
Also want to give a shout out J.J. Watt, DNP week 1, injured, but 17.3 points. So
very nice.
Good to see the old guy back out there racking up some points as well. So
yeah.
Judon.
Why are you giving me the I know what you're really getting at Josh face right now? I'm just trying to bring up some interesting names here. Danico Autry had a nice week, 17.65 as well.
Yeah, and those are some old ass dudes right there.
Old ass dudes can get
you
it done.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But even in the ugly game,
what you gotta do.
Daniil Hunter slid in there.
Dudes.
Old ass dudes.
That sounds like a damn hit.
That sounds like our podcast right there. Yeah, Daniil Hunter slotting in at 23 overall with 16.7 points, Bobo.
Some hope for your flag plant.
I'm hoping so because it's not looking good for Nick Cross.
Daniil's going to be fine.
Go ahead and get the 24, and I'll make the next point.
Yeah, Deron Payne was the 24th guy. Deron Payne having a hell of a season, by the way. I asked Aaron to include the week 1 scores. 25.85 for Deron Payne week 1, 16.5. So if you're looking just strictly DL across the first 2 weeks, Deron Payne, probably a top 12 to 13 scorer thus far on the season.
But when is Chase Young coming?
I don't think Chase Young's coming till November.
You don't think so?
I think it's going to be a long time. Even if he gets back out there, listening to Ben Standig, who's the athletic beat writer for the Commanders, he doesn't expect Young to be right this entire season. He thinks this is going to be just a wash year for Young.
What I noticed, looking back at the performances that we've had the last 2 weeks, the studs have been studs.
Yeah.
I mean, Micah Parsons averaging, I don't know, small sample size. Micah Parsons averaging 29.8 points per game. Alex Highsmith, 26.9. Khalil Mack, 25.8. Myles Garrett, 25.5. Nick Bosa, 25.5. Josh Allen, 20.9. Uchenna Nwosu, 20.8. Shaquille Barrett, 20.5. Von Miller, 20 points per game. Greg Rousseau, 20 points per game. Matt Judon, 19.8. Brian Burns. I mean, the studs are delivering. If you went edge early, which is probably the move.
Yeah. I think there's some debate there as to what the right move is, but
I mean, if you know which edge is the target in round, which we were all over, we were big fans of Khalil Mack, big fans of Von Miller.
oh yeah.
I mean, been over this tons of times. So if you pick the right ones, yeah, I think you can wait. But I mean, overall, those early edge guys, they've delivered. And that's what you love to see.
I agree.
Meanwhile, you got Roquan Smith, who's averaging like 15 a game. Shaq Leonard, nowhere to be found.
Yep.
Devin White doing his damn thing.
Micah
Salute.
Parsons going off if he still has the LB designation.
But it doesn't matter. Who cares about Micah Parsons where he plays? Micah Parsons is a unicorn. You guys got wrapped up in the usage and how he's going to be, and you missed out on a unicorn. So congrats there.
While we're on Micah Parsons, let me go ahead and lead us into this, Josh, because I have some questions. So Micah Parsons in week 1, 27.45 points, 32 points in week 2, which is insane. To be on average for 29 points through week 2, sure, small sample size, but TJ Watt, when he was elite, was at like the 25 to 26, per game. If Parsons can keep this up, which it's a lot, but oh my gosh, man, what an epic season he could really have.
Could Parsons average 30 points a game?
Defensive grade.
Wouldn't that be nuts?
If there was someone
that could do it, it's him.
It's him.
His grades, too, are just so jaw-dropping. 92 for overall defensive grade and then 91.
I think he's the best defensive player in the league.
I think so, too.
I think Myles Garrett absolutely deserves to be in that discussion as well, but just force of nature, Micah Parsons, man.
So here's my question. And I know I'm the oddball at times. I have some weird thoughts. I went to old Mr. Aaron today, and I was like, let's just see what the Micah Parsons price is. I don't have enough to,
You're talking about Aaron, who preps our docs for us.
No, we're talking about Aaron, not Aaron. So I thought in my head, I was like, this sounds ridiculous. But CD Lamb for Micah Parsons is not completely out of the realm of my mind right now.
No. I mean, we expect Micah Parsons to slow down anytime soon?
In the next, 5 years?
Is CeeDee Lamb is going to suck for the next 6 weeks until Dak comes back. And even so, I mean,
I keep waiting for it to happen with CD, and it's just not.
Yeah,
it ain't happening.
I think it says both. I think you're right. I think it says a lot about CD might just, we expect him to be Justin Jefferson because they were kind of drafted, similar time frame.
And people probably had CD ranked higher than
a ton of people. I mean,
he was like the.
I remember talking to Josh about this, and I still think CD Lamb is going to be a good wide receiver in the NFL.
Me too.
But the expectation is for him to be in that Jamar Chase type, Justin Jefferson type level, and I just don't think he is. I think he's a good wide receiver.
Not right now.
But I think what I'm getting at, this is an IDP podcast. Me and Adam will be updating our draft
trade value chart.
There you go. Nothing like it in the business. But Micah Parsons, it's like pick wise, what in the world is Micah Parsons worth right now?
I have him worth a first and a second, just because I mean, is he worth 2 firsts? Yeah, probably. I've never seen 2 firsts, I don't think, move.
A first, 2 first would be more along the lines of like a 23 and a 24.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting 2 picks in the next upcoming draft. 2 first-round
Are you
picks.
getting a 23 and a 24 for Micah Parsons too?
I probably want a 23 second.
I bet you there's some
2023 first, 2023 second.
But he's the most valuable player.
Well, let's just ask this: would you do the 101? Would you give up the 101 in 2023 for Micah Parsons?
It depends on what type of team you are, but I don't think so. I think
that still feels a little rich, right?
It seems like it's going to be like a top 10 dynasty asset.
Let's roll it back to 2020 and look at like the DeAndre Swifts. Let's look at the Jonathan Taylors. Let's look at the the Justin Jeffersons.
At the end of the day, you hit on that pick.
CEH.
Yeah,
it's still more valuable than even Micah Parsons. So we wanted to mention too Matt Milano. We mentioned him, 30.55 points. after 7.75 week 1. But Devin White, I think he probably has to be. Him and Micah Parsons are probably 1 and 2. Parsons went 32 and then 27.45 week 1. Devin White went 30.25 this week after a 35.2 week 1 performance.
Another guy we've been clamoring about, whatever on the PFF grades, just give it time. The talent's going to come back around. You know, Devin White's so good.
You can't suck and make that many plays.
Exactly.
And also the time when he makes these plays. You look at the New Orleans Saints games. When did he come through? The very end of the game when it mattered. That's what, and he's done that so many
He's a
times
baller.
in his career. He's a baller.
Yeah.
The grades paint another picture. But also, the grades have looked better than they've ever have at any point in his career.
90.2 in coverage, 68.7 overall.
Pretty solid.
That's
I mean,
not bad.
Maybe we should. This is a wild thought. Maybe we should give some of these guys a little more time.
No, Adam, we have to declare them bust after 2 weeks of the NFL season.
So Devin White has I mean, he definitely has, but has Devin White leapfrogged Shaq Leonard and Roquan Smith for you guys in Dynasty?
I think he's number 2 for me right now.
Behind Parsons.
Behind Parsons, yes. If you're listing
Devin White.
Parsons as a linebacker, which I think this is the last season we can probably do that because I think he'll probably be listed as an edge rusher, DL, D-end everywhere after this season. But yeah, if you take him out of the equation, he's number 1 for me.
Let's go. I love it. I love it. I love it, Josh. I offered you a 20, probably a 24 first in the offseason for Devin White, which honestly,
I mean, I think he'd be underselling a little bit. I mean,
Little
obviously,
bit, yeah.
knowing what he's done now for sure. But
was an easy decline.
But at the time, you know, I think there were some questions about Devin White, you know.
His PFF grade was like 30, 35. It was really, really
And
low.
he was coming off, you know, like one of his worst years production-wise. The sacks were way down, obviously. But
Where is he at in his rookie deal? Is he
think
due a
he's-
contract?
I think he'll be coming. He was a first-round pick, so
they'll
he'll have
probably
a
option
fifth-year
him.
option.
Okay.
And then in that fifth-year option
I like
window, they will try to get probably a new deal done with him.
And here was the other thought I had. And spoiler alert, I mean, I think we talked about the drippiest linebackers, the top linebackers. If I was creating a linebacker in a lab, I want him to look just like Devin White.
Right?
Yeah, he just got just everything about him is just perfect. Just his build, speed, drip.
The number looks great.
Number looks great.
Yep.
Everything about him is perfect.
He rides a horse for crying out loud.
Aesthetically, that guy just has it all. And
li-
that matters.
It does. You want to just be attracted to the people that you're rooting for, Bobo.
I'm kind of against the whole linebacker single-digit type thing. It's not
Yeah.
working for those guys.
It's
Except for Quay
okay.
Walker.
Here's the
Yeah,
point that I
true.
brought up. Right, Bobby Wagner as 54, love it. Bobby Wagner is 45, not so
Yeah,
much.
that's Devin White's number, dude.
I feel like that's diminished his superpower a little bit.
That number belongs to Devin White.
Yeah, I know you like are been in the league a lot longer, probably a Hall of Famer at this point.
Probably
but
the best linebacker of our generation. But still.
that's Devin White's number. Why don't you give that back to Devin? Let's talk about a couple linebackers here that I want to point out because I really don't know what to make of some of these guys. Addy, what are we supposed to do with Frankie Luvu? 9 points week 1, 28.5 points week 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you're following along the Twitters, I said you need to add him, and he was at the very top of that list. I mean, yeah, he's getting the snaps. He's producing. I mean, we just saw a double-digit tackle game.
85.2 pass rush grade. And, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you got to roster this guy. If he's still out there lingering, go get him. We told you last week, go get him.
Yeah,
Follow along
you
on
did
Twitter.
you did say he'd probably be worth a pickup if he keeps getting the snaps, and he's still the leading snap getter for the Panthers linebackers.
And I know we all like Shaq Thompson. We all want it for Shaq Thompson because we all roster Shaq Thompson probably. But, I mean, he ain't getting the snaps that Luvu's getting.
Yep. It's weird to live in a world where Frankie Luvu is the Cardinals' LB1, but here we are, folks.
And
Things change.
Luvu might be the only thing that's really working there. Him and Xavier Woods outscoring Jeremy Chin.
Another
Usage flipped again on that. Just
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here, folks?
They're just trolling the IDP.
They're getting rules.
Yeah. Bobo, we know the suspension handed down for Willie Gay, apparently breaking his girlfriend or wife's vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Did y'all see this? I don't have the full story.
Is it a Dyson?
But
You can't be Dyson. You can't break those things.
yeah,
It's a
four,
rainbow.
4 game suspension. My parents had a rainbow. They loved it. They still have it.
You guys ever
20
had a
years
Dyson?
later.
Oh, yeah.
Those sons of bitches are.
Those are nice.
They say
That's
they
top of the
literally
line.
pull the fibers out of your
I don't know that I
carpet.
want that. I don't know that I want my carpet
Oh,
being
want it
shaved
all
every
out.
week.
You don't
Sir, don't put your privates in that thing. I tell you that. I knew a guy.
Knew a guy.
Well, it was a guy.
Well, Jimmy No Dick. Jimmy ain't looked at a vacuum cleaner the same way since. Willie Gay, though, Bobo,
Yes.
27.25 points. What are you? If you're linebacker needy, even with the 4-game suspension, do you just put in a waiver claim on Willie Gay and stash him on the bench? What are you supposed to do here?
I don't know.
It's tough, right? This complicates the whole thing.
I'm Team Bolton, so I don't know what we do with Willie Gay. How many weeks is he suspended?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Man, that's tough.
That's hey, Leo Chenal's got a little audition in front of him.
That's right.
You know?
Step right up, Leo Chenal.
I hate to lose your job to suspension, but that's just the reality, folks.
I think hopefully this will elevate the Justin Reed shares a little bit because he's kind of had a couple slow weeks. But maybe they drop a little bit more DBs down into the box as opposed to trying to fill in that role. But I agree, Leo Chenal, he's looked good. Go grab him.
But
Now's your time, Leo.
Nick Bolton doing the damn thing.
That's
so many
right.
People were concerned about the usage and whatnot. Again, you missed out on a really good linebacker if that was you.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So be better.
Addy, I want to tee you up for Devin Lloyd looking the part.
Oh,
You mentioned got some drip going on. I'm not crazy about the number, but I am crazy about the numbers I see here in front of me. 25.3 points, 12.25 points week 1. His Jacksonville career is off to a great start after some concerns popped up in the preseason with him missing pretty much all of training camp. Speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better start. I mean, Devin Lloyd has this is probably gonna get me in trouble. Devin Lloyd is linebacker 5 for me.
Oh wow. Overall,
Who you want? Who do you want? You want Logan Wilson or do you want Devin Lloyd?
Mm-hmm.
You want Jordan Brooks or do you want Devin Lloyd?
Mm-hmm. Devin Lloyd. We've seen Jordan Brooks at this point.
Fred Warner, Devin Lloyd.
Oh, Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd.
See what I'm saying?
Wow.
Shaq Leonard or Devin Lloyd?
Still Shaq Leonard at this point, but it's close.
Shaq's my 4, and Lloyd's my 5.
Devin Lloyd or Logan Wilson.
I already said that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I think it was the first one he said. That's Devin Lloyd easy.
So, I mean, another guy that's surging right now, think about Nick Bolton.
Okay.
Nick Bolton versus Devin Lloyd. Who do you want?
Devin
I
Lloyd.
want Nick Bolton.
Really?
Yes, just because the snaps are there all of a sudden. Maybe it changes, and it will.
Snaps are there for Lloyd, though, too.
Yeah, that's true. And Foye doesn't look great.
Let's see. Who else can we do? Let me pull it up real fast.
I was just going to look up the measurables because I'm curious how Devin Lloyd comps to Devin White.
JOK versus Devin Lloyd.
Oh.
That's getting right too. It's Devin Lloyd though. They're
That's my 5 and 6.
It's JOK.
I mean, you're splitting
Yeah,
hairs.
it doesn't matter.
there's very few linebackers I want over Devin Lloyd at this point.
But, folks, you see what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And you do the exercise yourself. You're going to want Devin Lloyd.
Mhm.
I mean, the PFF grades are good. The production is amazing. The college production was amazing. Everything, the draft capital was amazing. Literally everything's lining up. It's the same thing with Aiden Hutchinson. Like both those, if you picked up both those guys in your rookie drafts, slam dunks.
Could Nakobe
Well
Dean
done.
get to this point?
Yeah, sure. It's
Good. He just has more competition right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's more of a 2023 play.
Draft capital, though, very similar.
Kaiser White going to be gone probably.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards looks actually good.
Yeah, he
so
does.
maybe they figure out a way to keep him around. But, I mean, yeah, Nakobe Dean, his time will come. Same with Troy Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But those guys, I mean, those young guys, and again, you know, I mean, I know I got a lot of these young guys in the top 20, but I mean,
That's dynasty, baby.
that's dynasty. I'm sorry, Eric Kendricks, Bobby Wagner, those guys are basically dead to me now in dynasty startups. I will not be the guy that comes away with those vets. I'm not going to be that dude. If I'm not great year 1, okay, I don't care.
You can find
That's
guys
fine.
on the waivers to plug and play if
Exactly
you need some
right.
starters.
Exactly right, man.
I want the guys that could be like LB3, LB4, LB5 moving forward in dynasty for the future.
If that's you, you're going to want these ranks because I don't think most of the industry is on the same page.
There are times when trying to be ahead of the curve can come back to bite you, but I'd rather be on that side of it than be
we're
lagging behind.
100% going to have our misses, but everyone has their misses, you know? That's
right.
part of it.
I'd rather miss swinging for upside than playing it safe.
Because we're going to have our damn hits too. Believe that. We're going to have our hits.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of hits, I want to burn through a couple of these LBs here, fellas, so we can get to the DBs. Leighton Vander Esch. Bobo, interested now with Micah Parsons basically as an edge rusher?
Sure.
The answer is yes. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Addy, you mentioned...
I'm interested in Micah Parsons as a cornerback. Who gives a damn what position he plays?
No, I'm just saying, do you want LVE now? That he's basically the LB1 for Dallas.
He looks great, doesn't he?
I think he looks pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'm in. Give me the LVE shares.
Tell me JOK's overall defensive PFF grade, Josh.
He would be sitting at a 91.9 for this past week and 20.75 points after 8 1/4 in week 1. Not concerned at all about JOK, folks.
Love you, Macri.
It is a two linebacker situation there with Anthony Walker almost playing the same amount of snaps, but I think as the season goes along, assuming how JOK will be the linebacker who gets the most snaps in Cleveland.
91.7 coverage grade. That's why he's going to get the most snaps.
That's
in
right.
Cleveland.
All right, hold your nose and start him, Bobo. Christian Kirksey, 20.55 points this week after 15.75 week 1.
Sure.
We in?
Yeah. Sure.
Why not?
Smoke him if you got him, man, because you're probably not going to have him for long.
Yep.
That's right. Tremaine Edmonds, 20.3 points and 11 points in week 1.
The question is going to be, if they're going to continue to be in these gross games, is Terrell Edmonds going to continue to see this type of usage? Is he going to continue to see 2 solos, 2 TFL, 1 sack? He actually played pretty good this week.
Here's my question.
But are you going to rely on the 2 solos?
Are you wanting Matt Milano or Tremaine Edmonds out of that group?
You still want Milano.
I think so too.
But, Tremaine.
It's nice to see that they're both viable options.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to give some love to Tremaine. I mean, he's been solid. He's been good. And based on where you're getting him in drafts, he was going like linebacker 20, but seems solid at this point. I think you could look at we're probably going to see Tremaine's best year production wise.
And he's not contracted in 2023 anywhere. This is his 5th year, I believe, with the Bills, or maybe they didn't pick it up. But anyways, he's playing for
he's
a new team or
exactly.
A new deal with the Bills for next year.
Yeah, I wanted to double check
He'll
that,
go somewhere
Bobo,
else,
and you are correct. He is a UFA 2023.
And while we're
Nice.
discussing that,
Don't you ever doubt me again.
and check your dynasty leagues. Always be checking rookies and seeing if people have dropped them, because I went through a lot of leagues today and I found Drake Jackson, Josh Pascal,
D'Angelo Malone.
Who was it we just talking about here?
Devin Lloyd.
Nick Cross.
No.
Nicobe Dean.
No.
It'll come to
Let
you.
me pull up the tweet.
Yeah,
He dropped
I'll
Aiden Hutchinson,
keep
guys.
rolling through here. Bobo. Similarly, Mykel Walker.
Yeah.
I want a piece of this Atlanta linebacking core, and Mykel Walker seems to be the guy that you want.
Who was
20
it,
points
Addy?
basically per week.
Terrell Bernard.
Oh, there you go.
Which
Yeah.
is very relevant. If Tremaine is going to be gone, Terrell Bernard, he was on waivers out there in the league.
Got to pick him up.
Gotta
Scoop
pick
and
him up.
stash.
That's a stash.
Josh,
Yep.
better question for you. Who is the better Denzel Perryman for this year, TJ Edwards or Mykel Walker?
Both, man.
I still think
That's a trick.
I still think we nailed it when we had the IDP DeLorean episode. It's Myles Jack. Huh.
Myles Jack's been really good.
He's been great. Really, really solid. Great question. Another great question today, basically asking which linebacker should I drop, and it was like C.J. Mosley, Mykel Walker, Jordan Hicks, Denzel Perryman, JOK, contract league. I said, man, that you got a lot of good options there, bro. I think we finally settled on Denzel Perryman because Perryman's actually a free agent after this season.
Yeah.
So, and I think the coaching staff very clearly prefers Divine Diablo. And Jayon Brown's looking okay there in Perryman's absence. So Anthony Walker, speaking of Walker, is very much playable, getting about the same amount of snaps. Jamin Davis, good to see him pop onto this list after 3.75 points week 1.
The snaps were down, though.
Were they down?
They were down from week
Okay,
1.
so he had a tackle for loss, a sack, 2 QB hits. So that probably helped buoy the score a little bit. Bobby Wagner, just doing Bobby Wagner things, 17.45 points after 18.15 week 1. Bobby Okereke has been super solid with no Shaq Leonard, 15.75 and 12 1/4 week 1. So things are looking great there. Jordan Hicks continues to be, is he the LB that you want in Minnesota, or is it still Eric Kendricks, Addy?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about ADP wise, it's 100% Jordan Hicks. But yeah, going forward, I mean, so far, yes.
I mean, kind of weird, but we've seen this story before, folks.
I mean, he's the worst linebacker as far as coverage. So he's going to get picked on more, which should lead to more tackles.
35.6 coverage grade.
Be cautious though. If without the INT, he's not that great last week. He's
3
he's an 8-point
solos,
scorer.
and that's it.
And obviously keep Brian Asamoah on the radar as well.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
I've got him on the bench just waiting. So, Ernest Jones, Bobo here at 21.
No,
I can tee you both up
Let Adam talk
on this one, but I liked your tweet, Bobo. DJ Keltown giving you some love on the Bird app today. Said that
It was the only good thing on the Bird app today.
What's that like? Getting good stuff on the
some
Bird
good
app?
stuff on the Bird app. I liked your take that Ernest, we may have to wait to see if he saves Christmas, but for right now, he's saving September.
You know, the jump from 58 to 79% is pretty healthy.
Didn't see the victory lapping this week.
Yeah.
Odd.
It's bizarre. It was like people listened.
Yeah.
That's strange.
It's also weird that people are acting like the usage thing is a win when this guy is a top 24 linebacker as far as points per game goes, which is what matters.
Yeah.
Where was he?
At the end of the day, folks, we play in leagues that have fantasy points,
Yeah.
not snap count leagues.
But what was his ADP though?
Oh, Bob, it was really high.
It had to have been really high.
It was really high.
He was
because
being drafted as a top 12 linebacker, wasn't he? If I remember correctly.
Actually, let me pull it up real fast. Okay. I'm looking at the ADP right now. Wait a second.
He's not looking at it.
Wait a second. Here it says he was LB 40 to LB 50.
What? No way. God, we can be condescending assholes sometimes. I love it. Oh, let's keep it moving here, boys. Oh, Jelani Tavai clocked in.
Wow.
I saw that. I was
24. No, we are not. We are not touching that. No, sir.
He got I saw 17% of the snaps, so he made 2 huge plays, I guess.
No, I'm not. Don't go anywhere near Jelani.
Pick
Tavai.
him up!
So,
Pencil Boy brought him in.
Divine Diablo there at Pencil Boy. That is true. Pencil Boy did bring him in out of the wilderness. But Divine Diablo double D there at 23, 14 and a quarter after 7 and a quarter week 1. So I think he's the linebacker you want in Las Vegas.
See?
Patricia handpicked
He was in Detroit.
He handpicked him.
I remember it.
So Darius Slay moving to DB. I got to keep us rolling, boys. We're going to be here 3 hours.
So be it, damn it.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so Darius Slay, of course, had the 2 INTs of Kirk Cousins, so 35.15 points. But, Addy, what are we doing with Marcus Williams?
Man, I mean,
31 points average.
Slay's injured. Okay, move on. He did something to his foot.
yeah, and
I just
also,
wanted that to be said.
He's literally never going to do
Yes.
that again.
Marcus Williams.
Yeah, Marcus Williams. I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess. Sure. But, I mean, be prepared. Be prepared to get the rug pulled out.
2 INTs.
2 INTs.
Just remember.
And the tackle numbers are high. Also, they're playing a crazy amount of snaps the first 2 weeks. So, yeah, I mean, he's not going to average 30 points a game.
I said this. I saw a question. It was literally just, what do we do with Marcus Williams?
Yeah.
And I said, in a big play league, I would be fine to roll him out in a flex spot. Depends on your team. If your options at safety are crap,
You're going to roll out 3 safeties, though?
I mean, depends.
Again,
Again,
if you put him in flex, that's what you're probably
in
gonna do.
all, it really depends on your other options. I'm not going to start this guy. If I've got 2 safeties playing more box snaps, that's always going to be my pick. But depending on my other options for a flex, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm trusting him if I have better options available.
Seems a lot like Diggs from last year.
Through 2 games, 22 tackles, 17 solos, and 3 interceptions.
He's good, man.
The tackles are what's weird.
What we were expecting is the safety play to be elevated in Baltimore by Kyle Hamilton because the linebackers suck in Baltimore. But while Kyle Hamilton is still learning, Marcus Williams is a fine plug and play until it all comes crashing down.
And it is a cautious tell, you know. I mean, you can't just look at the usage, because if you're looking at the usage, I mean, he's definitely playing deep.
Yeah.
You know, and there will be guys that buck this trend. Now, can he keep it up? I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
But again, we've seen tons of players that play deep, you know, be absolute studs for IDP. So, I mean, you shouldn't write people off just based on usage ever.
What if he's this year's Minkah Fitzpatrick?
He very easily could be.
He's a good player.
Good player.
Got paid a big free agent deal.
He's trending that way.
I think he's more in the bucket with the kind of playmakers who, you know, the Winfields, even though he doesn't even classify anymore because he's a slot cornerback at this point. But your playmakers that play primarily deep, I want to see a little more. I want to see, let's get through like week 4 or 5 and see if this continues. But
have you missed it at that point?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's already off. He's definitely picked up now.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
But I'm saying, like, if you wait till week 4 or 5, like, have you missed the production at that point? Like, he might still be kind of like I don't know, throw somebody a 5th for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trusting it yet, but I'm
curious.
cautiously optimistic.
You're happy if you
yes.
picked him up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Snagged him as the last one because I remember you saying he'd be a great late dart throw in those best ball drafts. So
Yeah.
I snagged him in a ton of those. I think he was like my 4th or 5th highest rostered players. Because you'd get near the end and you'd be like, Marcus Williams, I guess. Like I think he's going to be out there for 100% of snaps.
Those weeks. He's actually good.
But I think he could get some picks.
The only reason though, I think that maybe you try to go get him right now, and don't overpay, but the DBs are just like safeties are gross this year.
True.
The safeties are really bad. We now have no Jamal Adams for the rest of the year. Jeremy Chin has not been that guy. Derwin's been okay, but now we're talking about guys named Dark Forest.
Talanoa has entered into the elite safety category, apparently.
What in the world?
It's a weird time.
Xavier McKinney has not come on quite yet. Grant Delpit looks great.
Justin Reed, Jordan Whitehead, all those guys are still slow to start. But I mean,
give it time.
That happens.
Here's what I will
playing
say.
Furthest away from the ball.
Yeah.
Expect that.
So a great safety option I think will be out there on waivers is the number 6 point scorer on the week, Rayshawn Jenkins, because he put up 8 points week 1. Just check. Just go out there and look. 26.25 points week 2. Just see if he's on your waivers, folks.
He probably is.
Probably is. If he is, I wasn't on Rayshawn Jenkins before the season.
He's got the usage right.
Yeah.
He had the usage last year, and he did this year.
I'm just saying, if you're disappointed with your safety options, if he's out there,
yeah, you can
maybe
do
look
worse.
at him.
But also,
sure.
to give 2 people credit, Adam's tweet also included Andre Sisco, another guy that you need to pay attention to for the rest of the year. And then our boy, who I'm going to podcast with here on Thursday for the preview pod, Evan Ronda, I believe talked today about Mike Edwards as his
I was just going to bring that up.
Safety to kind of pay attention to for the rest of the season. You know, Mike Edwards, 9.7 points in week 1, but actually came back with 25 points in week 2, 3 assists, 1 INT, 1 defensive touchdown, 1 pass breakup, and a 93 PFF
playing all the
defensive
snaps.
grade.
100% of snaps,
Love
and
that.
he is the strong safety now that Antoine Winfield Jr. is playing as a slot cornerback.
Yep. He was on my tweet last week as who to pick up, so follow. Or don't.
At Adam IDP.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Love here
And Evan Ronda at Game Theory, or I don't know.
at
his-
IDP Evan.
Love you,
Yeah,
Evan.
that's right. New handle.
See you
That's
Thursday.
right. So, yeah, look forward to that, folks.
Yes, sir.
Bobo and
Having a-
Evan will be back in the feed.
Having a glasses off.
Yes. A sexy professor off.
Yes, sir.
And no cap.
Quirky glasses.
Yeah.
Showdown.
Blue light blocker off.
Sure.
Julian Love, you love to see 23.9 points. Any interest, Addy, in Julian Love?
Sure.
I think so.
The usage looks really good last week with Dane Belton coming back. So he played primarily in the box. And, the stat line showed that. So, yeah, sure. He's fine. He's free. He's
That's why.
Why not?
He's free.
He's free.
Pick him up, see what happens. Jordan Poyer.
up.
Jordan
We need that
Poyer
back.
doing Jordan Poyer things, 21.5 points after 13.1 in week 1. Love to see that.
More interest now with Hyde maybe missing some time.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Jalen Ramsey, 19 points after 7.5 in week 1. He might have been burnt toast against the Bills, Bobo, but made some plays in that game against the Falcons.
Whatever.
Whatever.
fine.
He's so over the Rams.
Now, I did notice on the usage, they switched him outside a lot more. So he's not playing that star role. And I mean, the tackle numbers kind of back that up. Only 2 solos here. He got bailed out with the interception to make the week. But
I think we could see that happen more because now with the introduction of Troy Hill
Mm-hmm.
back to the team, Troy Hill's been playing really well. But we still have the Terrell Burgess. Jordan Fuller played really well this week after not playing much in week 1. And then Taylor Rapp only had 3 or 4 points in week 2. So I don't know who I'm relying on as far as DBs for the Rams now.
We're not. Again, it's a stay away team at defensive back. It's been the case for a long time.
That star role might not be a Jalen Ramsey thing in 2022. It might be a moving position amongst players.
They rotate. I think we can safely say the Talanoa Hufanga experience.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm in. I think listening to Nate Tice and Robert Mays recap the game Sunday night, they went on like I've said this before, I pay attention when just normal NFL coverage podcasts start to talk about some of these IDPs that we like to fixate on. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that somehow, inexplicably, on a team loaded with superstars, Talanoa Hufanga is shining so brightly for this San Francisco 49ers unit, and he's one of the most exciting defensive players in football.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's high praise, boys.
23 years old.
Yep. 42 box snaps versus 52 with free safety, 7 in the slot, 4 on the line. So, I mean, basically right down the middle as far as sweet spot usage.
That's some pretty nice usage.
But, yeah, he looks amazing out there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you
I'm
were able
in.
to pick him up, congrats. You might have yourself a top 12 safety.
You
this
might very well have, and shout out to Jace Abbey for bringing up Hufanga on the NFC West preview pod.
Yeah, we were fans all off season
right.
as well. We have him plenty of best balls, so
It's fun for that team to finally have a safety of relevance.
yeah, it's been literally forever. I don't even remember the last relevant safety.
We were trying to will it into existence with Jaquaski Tart, and it just never happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see. I also like seeing boys moving down here. You mentioned Andre Cisco, Addy,
Ooh, that's fun to say.
16.6 points after 6 1/4
Cisco.
week 1. Minkah Fitzpatrick at 16.8 after his 39.6 week 1 performance. Minkah has been balling out this season. Harrison Smith was 16 1/4 after 17.75 week 1. He has been outstanding as well.
Tackle monster.
Love
Good
to see
Lord. Yeah, man. He had, I think, like 13 tackles.
Yeah, I was
last
gonna say.
night.
13 solos.
Yeah, 13 solos.
He was in on about every single play.
89.3 tackle grade.
Didn't he
The
get
only
hurt, though?
guy,
Yeah.
maybe,
Okay.
but the only guy that wanted to be out there last night.
Yeah, that was I was like, man, this is gonna be great. Vikings, Eagles, let's go. And somehow both games were blowouts.
And Harrison Smith, I mean, people forget this guy is like 33. Like, how long do we think Harrison Smith's going to play till? Is he going to maybe play until
like 40?
40?
Yeah, truly. He may be just one of those guys that transcends Father Time.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer.
I mean, if you drafted him, you're feeling really nice right now.
You're feeling no pain.
Yep.
Well, let's wrap up here, Addy. I had Arn pull some updated information for some of the ambiguous situations because I think it's very easy to draw broad conclusions from 1 week of usage, but wanted to look week 2. All we can do is go off what we have. So let's go off what we have for week number 2 with some of these guys. And anything jump out to you, Addy? We can talk a little bit here about the Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods continued fluctuation in how these guys are being used. 74% in the sweet spot for Xavier Woods, only 31.5 for Jeremy Chin. So what we saw in the preseason may be coming to pass overall, or maybe it'll just flip back in week 3. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that.
I mean, they just got versatile safeties there, and they can just do that with those guys. So, yeah, we've been off Chin for a while now. Also, they got just the fact that he has Xavier Woods in there to deal with now, and better talent in front of him. I want no part. The ADP and still the value that this guy has just does not make sense to me. Kansas City's usage, obviously, I'm very interested in. Justin Reed, he's played 49% of his snaps in the sweet spot. Mm-hmm. Pretty solid versus Juan Thornhill playing 39% of the snaps. So, I mean, we would love for those numbers to be higher, but I think Justin Reed's going to see better days ahead. Again, remember, this is a new situation for him. This is just his second game, so let's give him a little bit of time. We kind of touched on the Tampa Bay safety situation.
I love seeing Pete Warner back up at 81% of snaps.
He's a
grading
must-start.
very well. I think so too, man.
He's a must start. And I noticed he's still, people are putting this guy on like waiver pickup lists, and it's like, what? Huh?
Yeah, this guy should be rostered and should be started. I mean, I understand some waiver articles catered to different league sizes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe there are some leagues where just our degen brains are like,
I guess so. I'm probably a little
Warner's
jaded.
been rostered for like 3
Yeah.
years in our league.
I'm turning into that guy, so I apologize.
Yeah. But, the L.A. Chargers linebacker situation, I think you were mentioning, we saw that flip back to Drew Tranquil being the only guy worth rostering. And if you want to start him, fine. If you're desperate, I suppose. But Kenneth Murray, Kyle Van Noy, Troy Reeder, not happening there. We once again saw Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw play 100% of snaps at linebacker. So at least for the time being, Azeez Al-Shaair is simply just a rotational piece, playing 39% of snaps. The edge snaps for Jalen Phillips, Addy looked pretty good, 76%, 44 snaps, and a 74.9 PFF grade.
Really nice, really nice. I mean, the production still is not there yet, but just let's be patient, folks. It'll come. I mean, that snap share is amazing because, again, everyone was telling you this offseason that they're going to rotate, but they ain't rotating.
Nope. He is leading that group pretty significantly. The next closest was 60% for Emmanuel Ogbah.
And for those keeping tally at home, the folks out there projecting the usage for for what was going to happen this season,
boy,
woo!
It's been a bad 2 weeks for them.
Down bad.
Things can change.
I don't even know what wins they got at this point.
Yeah, I don't know because Ernest has come through.
Quay's come through. Bolton's come through. I guess
Yep.
they got the Bills thing with the being rotation, even though that's been 2 blowouts.
And
What's Russo averaging through those 2 weeks?
20 points a game.
And congrats, you faded the guy that's averaging 20 a game.
Yeah.
Really good. We're
Keep
all
that
happy.
guy on your bench. He's scoring too many damn points.
Yeah.
Bobo, 32 snaps, 78% of snaps for Quay Walker, 76.2 PFF grade. I think it's pretty well confirmed, at least from what we've seen, Walker is safe there alongside Devondre Campbell.
Your schemes, they're busted.
They've been busted.
It's fun to see Quay Walker. He's a fun player to watch. Yeah. He pops off the old television screen. Makes that team better in my opinion, and they need that. Quay Walker, he's gonna be around for a while. Great player.
Right.
Looking like a great class.
Yeah.
Yes.
IDPs.
Truly. Very nice class. Zaven Collins once again gets 100% of snaps, Addy, but still grading very poorly. 47.8. I don't know what's going to happen with Zaven's season.
Yeah, I mean, we need the grades to go up. But, fortunately for him, the linebackers in front of him aren't anything that we're scared of. I mean, it's Nick Vigil. And then the big story of the week.
That's right.
It's Isaiah Simmons. As we know. This was one of the biggest misses. I mean, this was almost ruined my career as IDP.
We almost had to cancel you.
Right. But Isaiah Simmons,
take.
a guy that we were once very high on. 15 snaps, 22% of the snaps. Now, he did have a 70.7 PFF grade. He did come in at the end of the game and make the biggest play of the game.
Clemson on Clemson crime.
That's true. Hunter Renfrow. Damn. But this isn't good. This isn't good. This is not what we want. He is at his lowest point value-wise. It's not good, but he's 23.
It's his third season.
It's his third season. Maybe he just needs to get the F out of Arizona, which it seems like he's going to be doing that if it keeps going this way.
Another thing to be taken into consideration, he was the number 7 pick. The number 7 pick in the first round.
Yeah.
So it's not just like
We were hyping up some third or fourth rounder.
Sure, Josh. It's not like it was an Ernest Jones miss. It was a, hey,
this
Steve
guy,
Keim.
this guy the Cardinals drafted high in the first round. I think he might be okay for IDP.
Dude, and go back and watch his Clemson tape and tell us that we're missing.
I think he needs. I think he needs a new team. I think similar to Hassan Reddick, we're going to see this guy resurrect his value in a new spot.
We've talked about the Vance Joseph, type coaches that just don't work sometimes, and whatever. Simmons is going to be weird this year just because that stupid team is going to be weird this year.
It's a bad situation.
Yeah.
For any young guy. Like
Even
that.
for Zaven, it could be a bad
It
situation.
could turn
this year.
very fast. It could be bad for him. Yeah, next.
Not again, folks. 5-12. Steve Keim, Cliff Kingsbury out the door. Could be total overhaul of that roster.
And you could see some juice back in that locker room next year.
I would
if they
love it.
Clean house.
I would love it. So Philadelphia, we were monitoring some of the usage there. TJ Edwards, 91% of snaps. Kaiser White, 74%. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, 100% of the snaps. 10 in the box, 11 in the slot, 1 in the DL. So 36% sweet spot, but 100% of snaps, Addy. So I continue to be a fan of CJ Deuce Gardner-Johnson. If you're wondering, the Houston linebacker situation continues to be Christian Kirksey, Camu Grigier-Hill, playing 199% of the snaps, respectively there. And then the linebacker situation, it's Rashaan Evans and it's Michael Walker in Atlanta. Addy, it looks like Richie Grant may be, if you want a safety in Atlanta, I guess that's your prerogative. But Richie Grant, 100% of snaps for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, this is great news. I mean, I didn't see what the stat line looked like, but the usage could be better. But I mean, it's not like Jalen Hawkins' usage is any more favorable as far as like box and slot play goes. So I mean, they use these safeties very similarly. But yeah, Richie Grant. I mean, this is a nice tick up in year
That's
two,
right.
considering that
We
this
just
guy,
want improvement.
Yeah, and we're getting it. So are we saying he's immediately worth a second round pick? No.
It is bizarre to me though, because going from slot play a bunch last year to a little bit of a different role is fun. It's great. Good for Richie.
That's right. You love to see
Just get him on the field.
however we
can
deploy
get him
this
there.
guy and let's see what he can do. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just that team is not in a position to not be playing their young guys.
It'll be a very experimental year for the Falcons.
Yeah.
That's right. And then to wrap up here, we got a few more teams. Jordan Whitehead, LaMarcus Joyner continue to be the two safeties for the New York Jets that you want, both playing 100% of snaps. We mentioned it. Divine Diablo is the linebacker that you want there in Las Vegas. Denzel Perryman did not play week 2, so it was Jayon Brown coming in for 67 snaps. Bobo, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you move Robert Quinn today?
I traded Robert Quinn for a 23 fourth. So, I don't know. I'm just tired of Quinn. I would much rather throw a dart on either Al-Qadim Muhammad, Travis Gibson, or Dominic Robinson, I believe is his name. I don't know. I'm tired of Quinn.
It's an interesting snap situation there.
Yeah, it really is.
Muhammad played 57% of the snaps. Robert Quinn obviously led with 76% of the snaps. Travis Gibson, even though he had a really nice game, 4 pressures, 2 sacks, 73.4 PFF grade, only played 34% of the snaps. So, I mean, with that type of performance, you hope that changes, but they like Muhammad there. I mean, Muhammad's a guy that was brought over from Indy, and he had
Matt Eberflus, the new head coach, as his defensive coordinator.
So clearly he trusts him, but I mean, he's he's got Travis Gibson producing and playing pretty well. So that could easily flip. And I think now is the time to get in on Gibson if you want him.
I think I want Travis Gibson of that group, right?
Yep.
So
Maybe.
Bobo, I think does. Bobo just
probably
wants
want
nothing.
You probably want neither of them. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but if I
you're in a
have to
league,
choose.
right? If you're in a league where you start 3 or 4 of them, he's a solid DL 3 or 4.
So there you go, folks. The week 2 recap. Bobo, what are you looking forward to seeing as we go into week 3? You guys are going to be doing the preview pod, looking at some stuff for week 3.
It's going to be great.
What are you excited for?
I'm just excited to see Evan, see my friend on the camera.
There you go. Have the glasses off, as Addy said.
Have our glasses off, have them on.
Yes, sir.
Maybe turn our hat backwards.
Ooh, some cool kids going on here.
Maybe put on a jersey or two, hang them behind me.
Sure.
Let's ask an IDP question real quick. This is something I've kind of been thinking about. So not necessarily any player, but who's one IDP that you're buying, selling, and holding right now?
Bobo, you spring these on me, and
I know. I'll give you a second to think. So I'll go through with mine right now. I don't know. I'm already starting to think a little bit about this 2023 offensive class. So the Robert Quinn types, the ones that have kind of been around for a little while but are kind of in muddy situations. So I'm going to sell a Robert Quinn just because I already have a Josh Allen. I have an Emmanuel Ogbah. I have some people that are going to play ahead of him. Somebody that I want to buy right now, I mean, the classic buy for me would be Ernest Jones, but that's bad podcasting. So by, let's say, oh my gosh.
I think if you can go buy Jalen Phillips, you probably can't at this point in a dynasty league, but you may have some frustrated managers out there who are like, he's getting the snaps, he's still not producing. What the hell?
There's definitely a little bit of concern. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you're like, oh boy, this isn't a Chase Young situation, is it? Where the guy wasn't getting any pressures, wasn't getting any production in year two. But yeah, I think it's just calm down, trust the process. He's going to come through for us. But yeah, that's a great buy.
I think Josh Sweat's another nice buy as well.
Josie Jewell's another nice buy.
Yeah.
Sell, I know we've already talked about this like pre-season, but sell Jeremy Chin. Like, you're running out of time.
Jeremy Chin. Also, I mean, Derwin James too.
Yeah.
I mean, just if you can get
Just
top
sell 'em
value
all.
for a safety.
I honestly think that could almost be the year in, year out motto of who was the DB1? Great, sell him.
Sell
Who was the
him.
DB1 in
Who was the
2023?
top 5
Great,
DBs?
sell him.
Sell them.
Exactly. I mean, the only ones that have really stuck for, some type of time frame have been Jordan Poyer here lately has been really good. Winfield. Justin
Minkah.
Simmons to me has been really good. Minkah has been really good.
Simmons is done now.
I'm just saying the last 5 years or so. Sure, Simmons is that time
Well,
frame's over.
speaking of Simmons, I think here's the question I want to wrap up on.
We're wrapping up on my question.
Are we selling Isaiah Simmons, or are you going to be a person trying to buy at the lowest possible value point I think we're going to see for Simmons?
You can answer this, but I'm going to tell you, I have had people asking today about Isaiah Simmons, like inquiring.
If they should,
I
buy?
am the manager of Isaiah
Okay.
Simmons.
You're
and people
selling.
have been inquiring, multiple people.
I mean, it's that classic. Do you just sell at the lowest point?
Yeah, I mean,
Are
if
you interested in buying an asset that's depreciated that much?
The other thing to take into consideration is
the price.
Simmons is a DB and sleeper also, so he's got the LB
That's very nice.
DB tag.
But if he's listed just as a linebacker, do you really want to roster this guy for another year or two, hoping he finds a new home?
You're gonna have to sit on it for a while, I think. Yeah.
If you have a taxi squad and you can kind of park this guy and he's not eating up a
But
roster spot,
I don't think this could have been a lame doghouse type situation.
Yes. He
It
could
could've
easily be back next week playing full snaps, and his value is right back to.
So you think go buy him?
Yeah, if someone's selling him for a 4th or a 5th, sure.
I was gonna say 4th or 5th. I think would be interesting.
Now,
to
am
me.
I going to buy him for a 3rd? Probably not. I think
No.
I have him listed as like a LB 30 at this point.
You could do way worse though.
But
The leagues we're playing in, it's going to be deep enough to where an Isaiah Simmons is going to warrant, some attention.
There
and
we go.
again, things change, situations change.
Yeah, let's just see how it goes, folks. We're 2 weeks in to a 18-week season.
But keep getting those victory laps in.
Yeah, keep
It's a
exercising.
real good look, honestly. All you out there doing that stuff, really good look. People really like seeing that stuff, and it definitely doesn't speak to your insecurity at all. So
Psychology podcast.
How long are we?
We're an hour and 57.
Nice.
So we're good. We're
good
bringing
timing.
the plane into land.
Felt like good 3
Shy
hours.
of 2. It did, yeah. It feels like Connie was here a week or
in
two ago.
daylight.
Yeah, when
I
it was
know.
still light
Connor
outside.
was here. That's right. Jeez.
Connor, yeah, he just rolled through like a tumbleweed. He was here and then he was gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like a phantom.
Wow.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, Bobby, Evan, recording the Week 3 preview Thursday night. So if you're a paid supporter over at the IDPshow.com, one of the perks of being a paid supporter, you get the Q&A thread. So hop over there, ask Bobby and Evan any questions you want, and they will answer them on the show. Look forward to that. We have the football guys going to be previewing next week. We'll have a recap pod for you guys next week, looking at the Week 3 action. And then coming up here pretty soon, boys, we have our football guys collaboration with the great Sigmund Bloom. We're going to be looking at some 3-down linebackers across the league, surveying the landscape and saying, what do we think? Are they really going the way of the dinosaurs? Are they truly going extinct? It's going to be a lot of fun. So plug in, folks. The season is just beginning, and we are so excited to have y'all along for the ride. So for Connie, for Adam, for Bobby, so Josh, we'll see you guys next week.
Now,